Death and I need. Sorry, I've been listening to that one song
That one song
by Death and June, the
over
White
and
Crane.
over and over
Yeah,
again
no, I think
as you
because I
crank
think
open another PBR and reminisce on the good old days.
yeah, I think David Tibbet or that other singer from Joy of Life was the guest vocal on that one. But you were saying about Halo before we were going live.
Oh, do we want to do the media literacy now?
Well, we'll do that, but we just want to wish everybody. Oh wait, I have to put out the
The
thing.
tweet.
The Zeets. Just want to wish everybody like an amazing Halloween, and hopefully tomorrow I'll have my Halloween episode of Content Minded out. But
I hope you all have a snaptacular Halloween as things appear to go crazy as the government continues to shut down.
well,
I hope you stock up on groceries. Apparently, some official told the British Broadcasting Corporation earlier today that they don't intend on funding SNAP or EBT in a separate bill. We'll see what
oh
Congress does
God.
in between that time. But yes, on this All Hallows Eve, I hope that everyone enjoys and has a spooktacular time. And remember that dust you are, and dust you will return to. And so take heed.
You might be
Because no
living
man.
through a Halloween like a found footage film soon if they cut off EBT. So
No man.
oh God. But anyways, this says Digital Archipelago 140 already.
140.
Well, let's ask the chat while people pour in. What is your favorite Halloween films that you guys like to watch? I've been on a huge found footage film kick, but I recently rewatched what was it? I actually discovered that they made a second film of A House of the Dead. You know, the first one was the video game
Yeah.
that they made with Yui Bowl. That was like total like just like chud early 2000s new metal Kino. And then they made a second, like the second one, which it was even more like early to mid 2000s chud coded. It was in a college dorm, and of course, you know, there's like gore and tits and industrial metal everywhere, and it was incredible. And so they made a second one of House of the Dead, and so I watched that last night. They had it on Tubi. I'm like, man, that's crazy. It was everything a 12-year-old Gio would would have loved. But yeah, people are saying Bela Lugosi's Dracula, Rear Window, Pumpkinhead, best Halloween movies, John Carpenter's Halloween. Yes.
My go-to horror zombie film is Wreck from 2007.
Yes, we talked about
me
and Parker talked about that. Yeah,
that's probably one of my favorite movies. It's probably my favorite zombie movie, really, because it's probably the best found footage film outside of maybe the original Blair Witch Project. It's really good.
The first one is super Kino. The second
I know they made a second. I don't remember what's in that one. They made four? Oh my gosh.
No, the first two are Kino. The third one is this like wedding one. It's entirely needless. Like totally skip it over. It doesn't really matter. It's terrible. But the fourth one is really good as well. The final one is really good. But then like as me and Parker are going to talk about tomorrow, or rather we already did when I'm releasing the episode. Like they took Wreck and then they secularized it when they made Quarantine with what's her face from Dexter. But wasn't she in White Chicks? She was in like a bunch of these.
Oh, Jennifer Carpenter.
Yes, like she was in. Is it Jennifer Carpenter?
Yeah.
Like she has a particular.
She was in White Chicks, The Exorcism of Emily Rose. She was in Dexter.
Wasn't she like some kind of like girl boss nurse in one of these series?
I could not tell you. I have only seen her in Dexter.
Yeah, I've never watched Dexter. Because you know why? I never watched Dexter because I always liked that guy in 6 Feet Under. But I figure like, I don't know if like Dexter would ruin it. But like, oh yeah, she was in The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Oh, Michael C. Hall.
Yeah, like he was really good as the gay guy the gay brother in 6 Feet Under. That's kind of like I can't watch The Boys because to me, Anthony Starr is always going to be the sheriff in Banshee. So I can't watch. I mean, that and The Boys is just a terrible show. But like, no, like yeah. So the Rex series, they secularized it and made it into like any other like zombie horror film entirely located in a hotel in an apartment building in the Quarantine and Quarantine 2. But watch the Rex series if you can watch all 4 films. I when I was at my girlfriend's house, I watched it because I think the American Tubi has all 4 films. The Canadian one does not, and I should really just get a VPN. But like, the American Tubi is quality. They have quite a bit of Vincent Gallo films.
You have to understand, Gio does not have any other streaming services. If it's not on Tubi, it functionally doesn't exist.
No, I have Amazon Prime, but that's my old man. My parents usually like they watch BritBox or whatever. There is nothing. I swear to God, there is like no good movies on Amazon Prime. There is only good movies on Tubi. That's it. Like if I'm bored, I know where to go. And it's like they really should pay. We should have an exclusive executive like deal with Tubi where you can only listen to Digital Archipelago on Tubi. You know what's funny is that the Tucker News Network.
Wow, look at that. We have a sudden like 200% increase of broke stoners listening to the show.
And black people. So like,
just in time for you to pay $100 for Gio to review a Quan Mills novel for this Thanksgiving season.
Yeah, or the Lesbian Homie. I'm willing to review that. No, but a Quan Mills novel, but it's got to be a good one. It's got to be like My Baby Daddy Stole My Ultima, or the grandmother one next door, or what's the one that you really like, Prude? The one
this bitch got roaches in her crib.
This bitch got
for the longest time, I really thought that this was going to be like a really like one of those pieces of performance art where actually this piece by a woman was actually like 3 Portuguese guys trying to game the system. So for the longest time, I thought Quan Mills was like some white guy like putting on the most racist,
like Matt Forney used to.
Yeah, like the most racist affectation imaginable just to sell shitty books. Yeah. No, it turns out he's like a mid-50s black guy with a
He's
goatee.
literally a black guy.
It's very strange.
Half the hosts of the show are black. That's and he's yellow by Dario Argento. Tenebrae is really good. I quite enjoy the cinema of his daughter though, Asia Argento. There's this one. I think I talked about this on the show, Sean Weiland. If you ever watch the Scarlet, what's her name? Scarlet Diva. That's a really great Asia Argento movie. She was in Land of the Dead too. That was a good one. But Land of the Dead is good, but like, I don't know, like to me, like I mean, because like I remember going over to my tenant's place and like he had Dawn of the Dead, both of them, the original and then the Ving Rhames one. Although I think it's like when you're a kid and you rewatch something when you're an adult and you can like either make a judgment that it's good or it's bad. Like to me, I recently, like a month ago, again, because it was on Tubi, I rewatched John Carpenter's Vampires. And when I was like, 10, 12 years old, I watched that for the first time. And I was like, the same night I watched that was the night I watched Ghosts of Mars. Both of was the John Carpenter films, right? I know people like they don't like mid 90s, early 2000s John Carpenter, but yeah. So I said Rams, not. Maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong, but anyways, Ving Rhames was great in Bring Out Your Dead. So I rewatched both of them. You can actually find Ghost Mars on that's like a clip show on YouTube back when like you couldn't upload an hour-long video. You had to like piece it out, right? It was like, 14, 15 years ago. So I rewatched both of them and like they held up because maybe it's childhood nostalgia. But then I rewatched parts of Dawn of the Dead, not the original, the remake, the 2004 remake.
James Gunn, yes.
The James PDF file gun, allegedly. it did not hold up the way that the original Dawn of the Dead by Romero did. I like the whole like nonsensical, like they were gonna die anyways, because like let's face it, they're gonna run out of resources or whatever. But like the whole nonsensical thing of like Vin Rams, he's like, we're not gonna die here, but we're gonna die in some island that we don't know exists. And this guy from Modern Family that's a total piece of shit, pussy hound. He may or may not have a boat. He may just be bullshitting us. And the island may or may not exist. And we're not gonna die here. I was gonna go and die in the military encampment where my brother went to, but then we found out that that fort was, run over. But it's like we're gonna drive across the city with these with siding, like with these tour buses with siding on it, and the slatternly woman's gonna get chainsawed by the closeted gay guy, and we're gonna like go to this island, and then we're gonna live the rest of our days there. It's like, why? It's just totally stupid. Maybe it's because I was watching too much like YouTube video essays on the zombie thing in preparation for this podcast, but like, I don't know. It's just like the original Dawn of the Dead by Romero. That is like a classic. That's like, you can't beat it. You know what I mean? Like, it's the perfect film. I mean, there's a lot of stupid points in there. Like for example, the one guy, not Flyboy, but the other guy, like, he made a lot of stupid decisions. He suffered from, to quote Tony Soprano, he suffered from cowboyitis, and he got bit multiple times. But anyways, I'm just ranting, Prude. I'm sorry. What's your favorite Halloween movies? I've always been partial to the zombie and or a team of people that are in the military, whatever, like, slaughtering demons or vampires or whatever. I don't know why. I always love like films where like a group of like a motley crew has to get together to like, gun fu some evil force. I don't know. I always like those films. But
yeah,
anyways.
I mean, I think one of my favorite ones that's come out in the last 10 years or so was Don't Breathe, just because the sound editing was really good and the premise was really, I mean, it jumps the shark halfway through the film. For those who have seen it, you know exactly what turkey baster scene I'm talking about. But like the premise that
that guy with like the guy,
that one. Where the premise is like, they want to just rob this old guy, like he's some sort of veteran or whatever, but like he's disabled and he's blind, like it should be easy to rob him. And then of course it's like he's hyper attentive to sound and the suspense that's played therein for these sort of just ne'er-do-wells as they find out he's been keeping some woman under his basement. It's like, well, you all took my daughter, so I'm gonna get a new one. And it's just like, oh my god, like it just jumps the shark halfway through. But the premise is really interesting. I quite like that. I love the original Halloween. John Carpenter's Halloween's really good.
Oh, yeah.
And then like I said, I really liked Wreck and Quarantine. I can't think of any more recent films that I've really enjoyed. Well, I liked The Black Phone. That was okay. But I don't really watch a lot of these kind of films. I just don't. I guess Robert Eggers is The Witch. That was probably the last good one. I really do not. The more I think, I've seen Nosferatu 3 times. The more I watch it, the more I really don't like it.
I gotta watch. I heard like, is it really just about like, what would you say its main theme is? Is it really just
I would say
sexuality?
No. I would say that it does its best to follow through with the original film, and then it prematurely ejaculates and tells you what it's going to do 45 minutes before the climax of the film. And then you're like, well, you already blew your load, and now I just have to wait for you to like finish your performance or whatever. And it's like that. And I mean, whereas in the previous film or in the original film with regards to Nosferatu, it's just like
film?
It wants to tell, and it wants like the one that Eggers does wants to tell this really interesting story, or it has this really interesting through line where like Western Enlightenment era man has no idea how to comprehend the power of evil and that the supernatural still exists. But then it kind of gets overshadowed by our plucky Van Helsing, Paracelsus type character played by Willem Dafoe, who more or less solves the problem. And the Christianity of both the original Dracula and of the original Van Helsing character is completely gone. and it's devoid. It's a very de-Christianized vampire story.
Isn't Van Helsing like cape shit basically?
No, because it originates from these books. Like if you're thinking Van Helsing, you're probably thinking of that
The film, yeah.
the film. Who was playing it? Oh, Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
It's really campy, kitschy cape shit, but I mean, it's a really entertaining movie from 2005.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when cape shit was in the mid 2000s. It was like somewhat
well, because you
like,
didn't have it was because the cape shit stuff from before 2008 has to stand out on its own, because your only successful metric of a successful cape shit film is Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
yeah.
And Sam Raimi was already wildly successful before he got, chosen to make those 3 movies, and he had only had plans for a 4th as well. But like those were your measures of success, were Spider-Man 1, 2, and I guess you can throw 3 in there, although not really perfectly executed. So, but I mean, it wouldn't be the first time you've had comic and book movies made either. Like you had Constantine.
Yeah.
Before that, they tried the Fantastic Four and the Hulk, and then everything else has come to pass as we know it. And the MCU has really ruined other media franchises that I think that we have not yet escaped the era of MCU transmedia storytelling.
As
Because
much as
everything
I love
has to
Blade,
be interconnected. Everything, you have to watch this to understand that.
Yeah.
Like Disney has done that with the MCU, and they've done it now with Star Wars. So it's like, oh, the whole Glub Shido meme is because of that. Like, you don't know who Glub Shido is? You didn't watch this show? You didn't see this like little reference in this one 5-second cutaway in the most recent TV show or film? Da 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 da. That kind of storytelling is present now with a lot of things. It's what ruined Halo for the 343 era, and now they're gonna fuck it up for the second time. Or really the 4th, let's not kid ourselves. And then on top of all that, it's just become the way in which they still want you to engage. They want you to always constantly be consuming and never do so. And you can watch the degrade in quality too, because there was we talked about this a couple episodes ago, that there was an article out discussing how Netflix writing and their sound editing is so dialogue focused, and how the dialogue and the scripting is deliberately repetitive, and it's always on your sleeve about what the character or the protagonist's intentions are, because most people just watch Netflix nowadays as background noise. It's not there to watch a show.
Yeah.
And it's not there for good storytelling. It's there
like
to
Hallmark movies.
Yeah, it's like Walmart. It's like Hallmark movies where like the beat of the plot of the show and you know how it's going to go, except it's for like 35-year-old millennial women who have nothing better to do after watching like the 25th like I don't know, like cake bake review,
Enchanted Christmas in
yeah,
wherever.
except I kind of like the subtle reactionary theme of a nice Christmas Hallmark film where a nice working gal in the big city with a lawyer falls in love with some like local candle maker in her hometown back in like Illinois or something in the rural part of the boonies, and it's just like, I didn't need you, man, taking care of everything for me in the city. Turns out all that I needed was like
rural
Chad's dick out in the middle of Appalachia. That's all I need. Like there's a weird subtle ramification to that, which is quite
they have to diversify it though.
Well, they have to because I think everyone realized that Hallmark movies were like the last bastion for suburban and conservative white women to still like feel something.
They're all like oddly white presenting too.
Like wow, look at this channel of like nice, well-to-do white people who are like not pretty enough or are not willing to abuse themselves for the standards of Hollywood, so we'll put them on the Hallmark channel.
Yeah,
you're one step above DC in terms of attractiveness, but you're also like one step below Hollywood, and you have some scruples about you, so you're not willing to do a whole massive amounts of blow or getting yourself in an incriminating situation.
They're all like in their early 40s too. You notice that? Like,
oh, I know, because it appeals to like Gen X and older millennial whites.
Yeah,
like that's it. Like my aunt is the perfect demographic of this. It is the live, laugh, love white American, and we stand for those women because those women are like the bedrock of like the sort of Midwestern / Southern like conservative MAGA mommy culture, and we stand for that. We like that. We like that.
Let them have their slop.
Let them have their slop. They gave birth to Brayden, Jaden, and Alyssa, and those three are all going to probably vote Trump or whatever. Like, that's fine. They've done their duty. They can't get a certain medal for having X number of kids, so they can get the Hallmark thing. That's fine. Let them have the Hallmark channel. Leave them alone.
That's funny. That's like in hockey of the Tkachuk brothers, like Matthew Tkachuk. Well, their father Keith Tkachuk was a very famous hockey star. And then you have Brady, who's the captain of the Ottawa Senators. What kind of name is not Brandon or like Brady with Y? And it's like that's like such a peak like younger millennial name. Although I can't fault him too much. He's the only basically, well, for a long time he was the only one carrying the Ottawa Senators. But no, people were talking about in the chat.
I have two chats open right now because you and I are both in a certain chat with our mutual friends. So for those who are watching and listening later on, we are going to be reviewing a book by our great friend Alaric, who has a book that you can purchase, but you can also read these essays online, which I have linked in the description. It's a great series of essays called Schizoposting. And and this is the first time Alaric is ever watching a live stream. And the chat has gone wild. He said, streams are unsettling. No wonder why every Zoomer is crazy. This is their primary form of media consumption. And he's like, Schwab talks about this. We talk about this. And so he's like, what are you watching? And Alaric goes, Gio and Prude. And he says, oh, no. So Kem, our favorite little monkey friend in exile mode, hello, welcome. You've been shouted out. I hope you're happy, fucker. So we'll get started on with the rest of the
super
chat.
chats.
Yeah, I know. Good old Alaric. There he is.
There you go. Someone mentioned Brawl and Subluck 99. That was a based pro-life movie. I believe Jennifer Carpenter was.
She is in that movie. Yeah.
Yeah, and then also Sean Weiland mentioned Pandorum. Pandorum is a Kino 10 out of 10 film that really has like a very like Thomas Ligotti cosmic pessimism mythology behind it. And even though it is like at the end of the day, it is sort of like it is like scientific materialism, but there is like a mythical undertone to it. But it is like a very interesting concept. And maybe if someone wants to, send some I know someone sent you a big dono, Prude, to review some kind of video game.
Yeah, I've got to now go review Ace Combat, which I've not. Well, Ace Combat 4, which I haven't played in years.
Isn't that like isn't that $100 to buy?
No. I can emulate that on my PC, no problem.
Don't they have like there was this video that explained like why flight simulator games are so expensive? Because I guess they're highly technical, and I remember like going into a GameStop.
Well, also because the microtransaction economy behind them are so ridiculously predatory. So, for instance, if you wanted to, like Ace Combat 7, Skies Unknown, which came out in 2019. I like Ace Combat. I bought Ace Combat 7. I played it thoroughly. But if you want to go and play all of the DLC, and this includes all the shitty planes, etc., that can rack you up hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Because, for instance, the game right now is like 85% off. It's $9.59 on Steam right now. But then if you add in all of the DLC and all of the planes, that'll probably come out to like, I don't know, $60. And so it's just like that's quite a bit to deal with.
Yeah.
Like Ace Combat 7, Skies Unknown, if I click on the store page. If I were to add everything, which includes all of the stuff, Ace Combat 7, the Skies Unknown, everything else, plus that pack, it'd be like $70. Look at that. No thanks. I'm okay. That's totally fine. And this is a 30-year-old franchise that I've best described as think Metal Gear, but you're a pilot, and it's a mix of Area 88. There's Gio and his more swarthy Italian appearance. We love that.
Review Descent. I remember, I think I watched Descent when it came out, or a few years after it came out. Is it the one where they're in the cave? I
don't think I've seen that one.
It was all right. Like, isn't there some creature in the base of the cave? Or is that the one where they're like...
Descent, that came out in 2005.
Yeah, I watched it a long time ago.
I have not seen it. I should probably give it a shot.
It's like some monster. It's like some kind of inbred, like Hills Have Eyes. I think it was either that one. I know there's the other cave one where it's like the father and son, and like the one girl gets scalped. They're like spelunkers or whatever they call them.
Yes, spelunkers. Yeah. Cave divers.
Cave divers, yeah, and they dived in this huge cave, and then they had to like go through this. No, but yeah, the descent I think was. Let me see, is the descent, and the guy he had like a. He had like a Glock he brought, but like it just didn't do anything. Like he didn't even shoot at the guy. It was stupid. It was like I remember watching that with my parents, and we were all like, "This is kind of stupid." Like I don't know, some movies like you know, like some I don't know, like some people they can't like just sit and enjoy it. Like my mother's like that. Like she has to get it the first few minutes, or else she's like, "This is boring. I don't get it." Like I don't. What was a movie? I remember I got my parents to watch. Was it Darren Aronofsky that did Mother, or was that the other guy, Ari Aster, with Jennifer Lawrence, the Gnostic one? You know the one, Mother.
Yeah, I think that's Ari Aster.
Yeah, it was Ari Aster. Yeah.
No, it's Aronofsky. It's Aronofsky.
It was Aronofsky. Yeah. I remember at the end, my parents like,
it's one or the other.
Yeah.
For really fucked up domestic situation films.
Yeah. Hereditary was really good though. I hated Midsummer. Midsummer was really well. I'm not gonna.
I don't like it either.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. But no, Hereditary was really great. Was it Darren Aronofsky or was it Ari Aster that did the 2012 short film with the black guy?
What is it? There's something wrong. There's something with the Jeffersons.
Yeah. Was it called the Jeffersons?
No, Johnsons. There's something wrong with the
Johnsons. Yeah.
And that is Ari Aster, which we have discussed on the air before. And you can watch the whole thing on YouTube if you want. I don't recommend it.
Terrible. That was so terrible. It like hits you like a brick. It's sort of like when you watch, like we had to watch The Kite Runner in school because we read the book. This was like, you know, this like, when did I go to high school? It would have been like 2005, I guess, like 2006. And no, sorry, yeah, because my first year of university was in 2011. So, I remember like this one kid in class, our teacher, English teacher, is like, "So what did you think about it?" And this one kid just stands up and he goes, "I wasn't expecting the anal grape." And I'm like, oh my God. And that, you know, but it's so funny that I remember like years later, I discovered that like it was such a propagandistic piece of shit because like the Taliban actually outlawed that stuff, Bakabazi or whatever. Like it was, oh man, talk about horror film. But yeah, so
just like my existence on the show.
Wicker Man is really good.
The original Wicker Man is great, and so
the original
is
one, yeah.
Horizon. I know they recently they remade the Wicker Man sometime in the last 15 years. I'll pass.
The one with the bees.
No, I have no idea what the fuck. No, that's not it.
Yeah,
what
that's
is that from?
It's
no, it is.
Man.
It is with Nicolas Cage. Yeah, that is the
Nicolas Cage. Yeah.
Yeah. I forget. I that scene is so associated just with the meme and not the original is better.
Bears?
Go watch the 1973 Wicker Man if you're gonna watch it. That just do that.
Yeah.
Don't. You can miss it. It's okay.
I remember one time I went with like my parents and my aunts. We went and we saw what was it called? The Village?
Yeah.
At the very end, we're all like, it's kind of a piss off. It was kind of a waste of time. But then now, like, I think I watched it a few years ago. It was actually somewhat decent. Like, it was a very interesting concept. But you can't, I mean, it's unrealistic because, like, that situation's kind of impossible. I mean, unless you're like, I don't know, some kind of
what's a realistic situation for you, Gio?
No, I mean, like, it's impossible in the extent that, like, in North America, you can have, like, a totally isolated community. Like, unless you're some kind of, like...
You used to be able to.
Yeah, I know, but, like, it was set in modern times. Well, I mean, you know.
I mean, America is large enough where you could effectively have small, middle-of-the-nowhere towns like that. Like, I don't know where this film. I don't remember where it's set in, but I mean, where I live, I can drive about an hour and some change, and I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
get.
guess.
I can drive through a town that's about 45 minutes from where I live, and I'm going to get death stares the entire time I drive through it because I'm not from there. So like that, those kind of things still exist in the U.S. They're just not. They don't have that Pleasantville aspect to them.
Hmm. No, but what I mean is like there's still like these people though they still have like the internet. You know what I mean? Like they like to be totally isolated from the time you were born, and you still think like America's like still in the pioneer days. Like, how did they not like see a plane up above them? It's just it didn't unless like
Fair
I don't
enough.
know
Fair
no
enough.
fly zone. I don't know. But anyways, let's move on. What's
Wyoming,
currently
that's fair. That's true. You can get away with that there.
so Wyoming? Yeah,
But Wyoming is a state of like 575,000 people. They're a major
really?
yeah, it's the smallest state of terms of population density in the United States, period.
Whoa,
There are major US cities and well, there are major cities in Texas that have a larger population than the state of Wyoming.
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's great.
Wow.
God bless Wyoming. May they keep the rest of us out.
I'd like to visit Wyoming. I hear it's pretty beautiful out
It's
there.
gorgeous. Wyoming is gorgeous.
They have a lot of. I think they have this it's planner competition every year. Um, I'd like
I'd
to go to
recommend
that.
driving through it, but not during the winter. That shit's scary as all hell.
Yeah, that is.
I
Pretty
have done
scary.
that on. I've done that once in my life, not again.
Oh, they lampshaded in the movie that they paid for it to be a no-fly zone. Okay, there you go. Thank you, Sean Wyland. It's
Oh,
been
there you
many
go.
years since I watched it, so um, you know what's funny? I say many years, but like in a weird way, like the mid 2000s, they don't seem like that long ago, but they are like that long ago. Like we live in a totally different world.
Well,
Like,
it's the pre-smartphone age. It's what makes it
yeah,
feel so foreign.
yeah, yeah. Even though like I can physically remember like what life was like in like 2006 or 2010 or like 2009, but like it does seem like a world away. Like it is pretty crazy. Um the smartphone really did
Well, it
but
instantly dates all films.
yeah,
A
yeah.
pre 2007 sort of landmark time. Like, watch any film from 1999 to 2006, and it's a totally different world than the one you and I have. Even though the internet's still around
Yeah.
at that time, it's completely different. It's still a relative novelty. Not everyone is connected. Not everyone is online. And now that's just a permanent, ubiquitous aspect that we cannot escape from unless you're willingly going to go off the grid, so to speak, or off the internet. And I think
Yeah.
that kind of brings us into Alaric's essay for today. So I'm going to go
Well, there
zoom
you
in,
go.
and we'll
There's
just
no
have.
current news items. They're
The
shut
government is
down.
still shut down. Trump got Shinzo Abe's golf club, his putter, which was kind of
Whoa.
nice. And Amazon is having huge warehouse layoffs.
So this is gonna be like the Purge movie soon.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh my god.
All right. Can everyone see this chat? It sure looks like that on screen. So this is from Alaric's book, Schizoposting. Link down below in the description if you wish to read these yourselves. Or, of course, you can go purchase a paperback copy because friends support friends. I just recently got mailed from our good friend T.R. Hudson, his books, hardcover ones that were signed. And love you, man. I hope everything with the baby is going well. It's always nice to get books from friends. So
Yeah,
let's...
I bought the paperback of this.
Yeah.
I
So...
hope when my book comes out, you people are gonna buy it.
And when his book comes out, I hope it comes out soon so we can do the audiobook and get it over with.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, I don't know if we're getting protests. I know Walmart has already said that I think in some Walmarts are already going to close their stores and that they will be delivery only or remote pickup only.
God
So-
help those delivery men.
I don't, because the like I said at the beginning of the show, like they're not, the Congress has not convened to pass some partial resolution to fund SNAP. So right now it's gonna be defunded, or it's gonna run out of money on the
all
first.
they have to do is be like the Republicans are like, listen, we know we can't get rid of SNAP or whatever. Just like make SNAP make Gibbs for Americans, not illegals. That's it. That's all you have to do. And it'll be over. just walk away. It'll be, like it's funny because someone in the chat you were looking at, Schwab's chat, someone posted like the government website. They're like, well, this is basically all the Democrats' fault
Well,
because
yeah,
they want to give.
the federal websites have all said because Senate Democrats have refused to pass a continuing resolution. And I was on the Department of Commerce's website earlier today with work, and they're like, this website is not being updated. But yeah, if you go over to HUD and you go look up SNAP and WIC and everything else, it's like, because of the Senate Democrats' inability to pass a bill, this is going to run out of funding on the 1st.
Oh,
So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. They'll fund it like 3 weeks before the deadline. This has happened many times before. Yes, but the deadline for this is in like 3 days. So I really hope that they do.
by the way, Prude,
let's hope.
I looked it up, and Rush Limbaugh actually was, from what I said last week, Rush Limbaugh actually was saying the Baucus bill. The Baucus bill was the healthcare bill that they were proposing.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, like, that's why Rush Limbaugh, he kept going on about the Baucus bill. And, like, I remember, like,
I love that we're being referencing shit that, yeah, go on.
For a solid month, like, that's all he would talk about was, like, the Baucus bill. Like, it was, and, like, it was, like, I was, like, what? Maybe like 15, 16 years old. And I'm like, well, like in America, they have this thing called the Baucus bill. And I'm like, no, but like, yeah, the Democrats, all they have to do is just say, okay, we agree. Like, we're not going to give money meant for like actual Americans and give them to.
Well, what was worse too is that later on they had continued and said, yeah, we're actually funding this. Like, it's only a small amount of money that goes to illegals, and it's just like, we've reached that critical point in mass where it's like, okay, so we know that this is happening, but it's not that bad. The same usual celebration parallax.
When is the New York election?
Next week? The 5th of November, Tuesday.
You know what? I'm so sick of hearing this about this fucking Mondani guy. Like, what? Like, it's like.
Early voting has happened. No, it's November 2nd. Excuse me. It's early voting. And then election day is November 4th.
Do you even want to talk about it next week or no?
I mean, we can. I don't think we'll get the results in all the way, but we'll see. I don't know. I mean, if it happens, all that I really have to say is that New York will have. Well, it's not just that it's fallen. I mean, it's been fallen for a long time, but New York and America will have a Sadiq Khan moment where it's a global financial capital. New York City has been captured by a Muslim, mainly due to foreign-born voters.
Yeah,
and that's all that it is. And
but
so, and just like the United Kingdom, the United States has decided to go the same route with the Tories. And we are now going to enjoy the subcontinental infiltration of conservative politics in the United States. Whether it's with Harmeet Dillon, Vivek Ramaswamy, or countless others, it seems that that is going to be the pathway in which the Republicans go, is that we are going to soon see our Judeo-Christian Hindu values be spouted off. As sort of
that really worked for the conservatives here in Canada. That really worked for them.
Oh, well, it'll happen here in the United States, and it's already happening in places like Texas and other major tech hubs because they have an overwhelming majority in terms of how they can influence primary elections. So yeah, but no, if Mamdani wins, then it will be the sort of Sadiq Khan moment. Except Sadiq Khan is a considerable degree older than Mamdani, and he is. I think he's a millennial or an older millennial.
Madani? Yeah, he's a millennial. Yeah.
So I mean, if you wanted to see what brown millennial politics looks like, that's what's going to be the case. And honestly, and even if he does win, good luck. It'll fall apart, I think, rather quickly because I don't think he knows how to handle the political beast of burden that is the dirtiest political city outside of Chicago.
Yeah.
So we'll see, but I'm not particularly inclined to. It'll be ugly. So I guess we can cover it when the results pour in next Tuesday on the 4th. But
I'll just say, like, him being Muslims, I think the least salient aspect of it, in my opinion, it's just
he just shouldn't be here.
Yeah, but that's been like the conservatard go-to, like GWAT era, like Bush era talking point of like, oh, he's a Muslim, he's going to bring radical Islam. Like, first of all, what does that even mean in New York City? They're going to because like in London, you could say like Sadiq Khan is consciously played to his Muslim heritage to win votes,
And
he's
caters
basically
to it.
and caters to it and lets them do whatever they want. But in New York, it's the more salient thing is like the fact that he is representing, let's say, quote unquote, newly arrived New York. And
well, that's really the only part that matters. But here's the thing: is for like a lot of older conservatives or even the GWAT era of like Republican Party stuff, like Islam was the safe venture when you couldn't talk about race.
It was safe racism.
It was it was safe racism. It was like, we do not want the foreign Islamic hordes to come in, and it's like, well, that's a totally acceptable position to have, especially
during GWAT,
and I mean, it's still an acceptable position to have even now. But like the issue for me is like, it's not so much Islam, because then that only limits it to a particular geographic area. It's like that Howling Mutant tweet. I don't want any of them. Like, New York was and still can be one of the greatest cities on earth. It just doesn't. We don't have to live like this. But that's all I'm really going to say on that issue.
And the thing is, like, there is, like, he is, we talk about like a lot of slop on the right, like that Halo post by, was it the White House or was it
it was DHS in the White House, but it was because who was it? I think it was some games publishing or some journal had said that like the console wars are over. Yeah. And it was reported by games or like fucking, oh God, who the hell originally put it?
Kotaku?
No, who's the one who's always fuck it. I'm just gonna Google it because my brain is not working. So no, GameStop had posted the article, and then the Rapid Response 47 guys, which is the Trump Spox people, had said, oh look, another war that Trump has presided over the end of. So it was like put that at like, I think it was like 20 wars or conflicts that they had said that Trump had put it into, and whoever's running the GameStop account has like allowed themselves to be a little keyed because they were like, yes sir, Mr. President. They had all the great edits and whatnot. And so now DHS and ICE have basically been doing Halo posting for the last like day or two, or they did it a little bit, which has allowed everyone to have another round of media literacy. It's hard for me not to understand that this is totally catering to me. I'm like Garfield. I'm totally not immune to propaganda. And I'm like, ooh, boy, we are talking about stopping the flood and finishing the fight. I think I will send in an application at USA Jobs and go apply for ICE to be a deportation officer or a homeland
patrol
defender.
The border while listening to Breaking Benjamin.
Yeah, why not? I'm just going to have Breaking Benjamin and the Marty O'Donnell, Michael Salvatore soundtrack overhead. And this is all in the midst of 343/Halo Studios releasing a short bit that they're remaking Halo Combat Evolved for its 25th anniversary that's set to come out next year. And the stuff that came out it does not look good. Unreal Engine 5's lighting is not good. And if you're going to give off a gameplay trailer, I understand it's a work in progress, but the amount of like lighting and texture pop in, oh God, not good. And also, the reason why everyone hates the 2011 Halo CE anniversary that's 10 years old, or that was released on Halo CE's 10th anniversary, is that it is a glorified Halo Reach port of CE. It sucks. The lighting is terrible. The mood is awful. And it eliminates the beauty and the simplicity for the sake of like cartoonish realism with the remake, and it's bad. And now it's like, wow, no one we wanted an actual remake or an actual remaster, not like Reach Halo CE port. And now what they're doing with the Halo campaign Evolved is what they're calling it. Terrible name. Instead they're doing Halo Infinite assets like the fucking Needler or the like zoom in or the weird sprint stuff. And it looks bad. It's going to probably be bad. And it's going to be slop, and just like Diet Coke with the president, I'll probably play that garbage anyway, but like it's not going to be good.
I'll still drink that garbage
anyway. Still drink that garbage anyway, folks. And so my mood is entirely twisted. Like I am like, I've now torsioned myself like Marby's testicle, and I'm just like wondering, what am I going to do in this incredibly painful situation? Because on one hand, keyed, this is exactly the kind of based shit I want on my timeline. But at the same time, I'm like, well, I know that this is catering to me exactly, and I am not immune to propaganda, and I'm not a fan. However, I like the messaging because it pisses off all the right people. That's why I voted for Trump in the first place in 2016. I was like, well, I can vote for the devil's wife, Hillary Clinton, or I can vote for a bull in a china shop and see how that goes. And that's why I voted for him in 2016. And then I saw how everyone was getting pissed off with him in 2020. I said, well, we're going to double down on this. And then I thought, well, why not have that guy? Because Biden and Kamala Harris would be an absolute nightmare for this country. And they would keep the border open and accelerate America's already terrible demographic position. So, so far, so good, I guess. But at the same time, I guess I'll just throw all that into the Halo rant that I'll put out.
Well, to be a bit contrarian, like we did talk about like how the Republicans, they have their own model of like, you know, the demographic situation, that they're sort of like a weird thing where the provinces are like the imperial heartland is like mimicking the pattern of the provinces in terms of like conservative versus liberal politics. But no, what I was going to say is like, yeah, like that is slop posting. I know like this new polemic that irony leftists are pulling out is like, you're literally 12 years old. You know, that one, like, there is like something to be said about that. Like, you know, the DHS Halo posting or whatever. But I think like, I talked about this with Kryptos because he interviewed me recently, and it's sort of like the left has their own version of it. Like, I mean, of course, like we all know like cape shit, animation, pop, like mass culture industry stuff. But like Mandani, when you really look at it, he is sort of like the perfect like millennial leftist, like Jon Stewart generation slop for the left. Like he is like everything that they could ever want symbolically. Maybe not politically, because like let's face it, he's going to be a fucking disaster. But in terms of his
I think he had said at one point, he said, think of Scandinavia but brown as his like ideal politicking.
Whoa! They've been trying to do that for years and it's never going to work. So,
well, because the reason why it works is that it's a small population living off of like a sovereign wealth fund that's an ethno state. It's why it works. And there's some uncomfortable facts that, you know, well, we want that here. And it's just like, you can't have that here. Because I live in a multiracial democracy, and a multiracial democracy is a census count, just like, you know, the gangs of New York. It's like, get that man a ballot and make sure that he votes for me. It's why precinct captains do a lot of voting and not necessarily like large bodies of voters that get bussed in.
Yeah.
But that's sort of just how it is.
But that's what I mean. Like, but he's like the perfect aesthetic for that demographic of people, which is why I think he's going to win. Like he is like literally everything that they want, and I
we'll
think
finally
like,
find out, you know, what
like he literally eats the slop with his hands, and like he appeals to them in such a raw and visceral way, and like because he's like this goofy, like, you know, upper class jet setting millennial that had like his. I don't see why what people say.
What if
like,
Matt Kreisman got everything he wanted?
Yeah. But he's kind of like a charisma suck, but like I guess they worship that, like every little aspect like of this guy they worship, from like his wife, they pretend like she's some sex symbol, to like now his like mother.
Hold on, Gio. Yeah. Hold on. While you say those things, what's her name? You would know.
I forget her name.
Okay, well, let's just go look it up real quick, and I'm gonna go check your timeline.
No, but like her mother, like my friend Adam Lehrer got like dragged through the mud because he's like, well, they're like pretending like his mother's like this like super important filmmaker, and it's just like every little aspect of this guy they're mythologizing.
Rama Duvashe. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go check your timeline. See if you've ever talked about her.
I've never talked about her. I think I called her artwork neoliberal kitsch once. That was about it.
Okay, we're good. And even if you did, you would have deleted your tweets anyway. I was waiting for the fellas tweet. I was looking for the fellas tweet.
She is a fellas. Yeah, she is attractive. But like to like go out of their way and like worship her as a goddess, like all of that is like a very like carefully curated political thing. And all like they're going along with it anyways. Because another thing too is like all the other candidates in New York are terrible. Like what? You're gonna have Cuomo or like Silva is kind of like a nut bar, and like your people are like pretending he's.
You just notice that it's the last generations of guys who just got off the boat versus the new generation of guys who just got on the boat.
Maybe.
This is why New Jersey is a perennial race war between mids,
Italians,
and it's Italians versus Irishmen. Like that's just. That's New Jersey politics, whereas New York City, it's just whoever gets off the boat.
Yeah.
But let's get to the essay, shall we?
All right.
Alrighty.
Maybe this essay talks a little bit about the discourse cycle, so
Well, hopefully. Discourse is ARG. The computer abolishes the human past by making it entirely present. It makes natural and necessary a dialogue among cultures, which is as intimate as private speech, yet dispensing entirely with speech. While bemoaning the decline of literacy and the obsolescence of the book, the literati have typically ignored the imminence of the decline in speech itself. The individual word as a store of information and feeling is already yielding to macroscopic gesticulation. McLuhan, War and Peace in the Global Village. Definitions and parallels. So, let's go get our work out of the way. Chuds. An alternate reality game is a type of multimedia game for multiple players that takes place in real time and evolves according to decisions taken by the player rather than by the programmer. Often used in marketing, the core sell of a good ARG is a convincing hidden world layer atop a physical and digital space, which the player cannot investigate but influence. Together, the collective of players is able to direct the form and outcome of the game world, which does not progress or meaningfully exist without their participation. An ARG's world, in the truest form of a virtual environment, in that it suspends a simulated reality which you can reach out and touch with any special technology. A good example of this for you old Halo fans would be I Love Bees from 2004. There are plenty of other good ones out there too, if you want to go look for them. Because the ARG manifests solely between the mind space of its players, can also be described as an egregore. If no one plays the game, the world just dies in place and effectively ceases to exist. Aside from this esoteric definition, some simple background. ARGs, by definition, are multimedia phenomenon, traditionally taking the form of mystery. Yeah, there's I Love Bees. Some famous examples include Cicada 3301, I Love Bees, the marketing of the Blair Witch Project.
Blair Witch Project, yeah.
Shia LaBeouf's famous that He Will Not Divide Us. All of these leverage online interconnectivity and physical real-world engagement to drive players through a participatory, progressive game that leverages some degree of unreality with its internal structure. I don't know if he mentions it here, but a good example would be the marketing that was out there for Cloverfield in 2008.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
While the common connotation is marketing, the goals of an ARG can be wildly divergent. Cicada 3301 used cryptographic puzzles and physical posters in major cities to vet players for initiation into a still mysterious group, and He Will Not Divide Us began as an emergent unplanned ARG among those who wish to annoy its creator.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
Some further examples: the University of Southern California used a ARG Reality Ends Here for its freshman education since 2011. The 2007 ARG World Without Oil was used for environmental activism, and Disney World Orlando includes multiple ARGs to encourage deeper engagement with, thus suspending in, its parks. The concept is multi-purpose, and the ARG dynamic serves as a broad descriptive frame.
Didn't some guy die out in the Nevada desert doing an ARG by some millionaire that worked for Microsoft or something like that, or Apple?
I wouldn't be surprised, but I would need more details.
Yeah, there was an atrocity
This sounds like
guy.
a delectable copy pasta, though.
There was an atrocity guy documentary on this. Like, it was some millionaire that worked for one.
I really like Atrocity Guide.
Yeah.
One of my favorite videos by them was
The Breatharians?
The Immortalist.
Oh yeah, that one. That was great.
The guys who refused to die.
Then they started dying, and they're like, "Oh, I guess."
Yeah, it's embarrassing to die. The Immortalist story. Oh, that was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, they haven't. She hasn't produced a lot since.
No. They had one come out 3 months ago, and that was after like a 2-year break.
What was that one about?
The Tragedy of Jack Parsons.
Oh yeah. I was gonna watch that one. Yeah, there's like a lot of strange connections with Jack Parsons and like, L. Ron Hubbard. A lot of these esoteric.
I now need to go rewatch The Dolphin House for no other reason than certain group chats. But we'll carry on.
Anton LaVey.
Yeah.
Some Boyd Rice.
Along with virtual and mixed reality games, the ARG has been a subject of fascination by the military-industrial complex for some time. Right. ARGs are capable of mobilizing hundreds or thousands of people in physical space, see Why So Serious, including those with high-level cryptography and open-source intelligence skills, such as the case of Cicada 3301. The medium has also been used for large-scale data collection. The vast location and camera data troves from Pokemon Go were used by Niantic for years to train a large geospatial model of a granular map of millions of locations meant to achieve spatial intelligence. Both as a centralized media product and as a phenomenon that creates emergent mass coordination, the ARG is a useful model and tool for interfacing with a wide array of internet-mediated social dynamics, a key element of fifth-generation warfare, hence the Pentagon's interest.
Yeah, that's like that book, Network Aesthetics, talks about this.
Yeah.
Like ARGs were like gaming and ARGs were always integral to intelligence agencies testing the limits of human consciousness and sort of cartographing all of human knowledge by getting players to, I mean, like set theory and game theory also played into this, but like even like a lot of artists in the contemporary art world have done some stuff with this. Like I know Marina Abramovic is like really big into using VR and like ARG style installations where you like immerse yourself into the thing. But that's also like, yeah, has a darker side with these intelligence agencies. It's a really good book actually. Network Aesthetics by what was his name? Jakowski. I forgot his name, but anyways, can proceed.
We'll carry on. However, the ARG concept applies to far more than one-off marketing stunts, trolling campaigns, or organized recruitment efforts. The entire online environment or battle space can be conceptualized as a vast ARG. In a sense, social media is the supreme ARG. Online, emergent team-based conflicts determine acceptable political beliefs, personal behavior, corporate institutional actions, self-conceptions, and ultimately perceptions.
100%. I remember, I don't know if Alaric, he knew this, but for years, I had this essay back in like 2017 where I called it like politics in the internet age is sort of like the MMORPG of life. And I wonder like if he picked up on that, but like, I know he mentions like ZHP's God-shaped hole there, but that is a very like that really is like when you think about like how you have to navigate like group dynamics online, it kind of is like an ARG. It kind of is like an MMO. Like, you know, am I in this faction? Am I a griper? Am I a Bappian vitalist? Am I this? Am I that? Am I an irony leftist? Like it's, you know, and it's like these little cliques, like this person hates that person hates that person. It's sort of like you know, Johnny Sack when they're planning his daughter's wedding. He's like, "You're gonna put Aunt Gladys next to him with the Haitian boyfriend?" It's like you can't, you know.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, that was a good line.
No, there was a tweet not too long ago. I think it was someone who worked for Twitter or was quite just quite out there, and he was talking about what level of following you have that makes you like a reply guy or makes you a you know, a poster, interesting gems, and then it's like at a certain point you just become like a slop content kind of person.
Yeah.
And I don't remember where it's from. I'm gonna have to go find it, but it just reminds me of this. Like there are ranks, and it's like those stupid mobile mafia games where it's just like level 1 versus like the level 99 mob boss.
Yeah.
So it's like that's exactly the kind of environment that you're in. I've always treated like the online space is it has a wave duality. It has a duality to it. It is both space, but it is also a drug you consume. Sort of a digital ayahuasca.
It's like
Lane.
It's described. Like the pill in Lane.
Yeah, it's like that. It's a digital ayahuasca wherein there's a digital astral plane in which you can conduct combat in with otherworldly beings and demons. Like if you're not on Twitter and you don't know who Ayala is, for example, this is just my go-to example.
God bless you.
Like God bless you, but like imagine the amount of lore you have to explain to somebody, and even to use the word lore terminizes like gamified language because we use lore to explain things like the story or the lore behind like the Elder Scrolls or Skyrim or the Elden Ring and Dark Souls and shit like
Morrowind.
that. Yeah, right. And so, but like imagine the countless hours of stupid shit you would have to explain to someone if you made a reference to that, or like there was that tweet. The Chinese racist guy post where he was like smiling when like I guess like a boat had been taken, like a migrant boat had been hit by like sharks or whales or something, and he had posted
it was beluga whale or something.
Yeah,
like that,
and it's like someone had even tweeted it out. I think it was like Fraser Payne and said like imagine the hundreds of hours of internet lore you'd have to like condense into a paragraph or a few sentences to explain why you're laughing at this, and again, like it's the same thing with any gamified fandom environment where it's just going to be like you have to now indoctrinate someone else in order for them to even remotely understand. Like I was talking to my fiance and I kind of politely asked because like she's on TikTok, I'm not, so I'm always a little curious as to what bleed over this online environment has with that one. And I just kind of asked her, I said, hey honey, like, do you know who Will Stancil is? And she was like, I had no idea who that is. And I was like, oh, I cannot fucking wait to explain to you. I got like kind of excited. It's like, oh man, like I have something dumb and stupid that I get to like now share with somebody and like totally ruin their day as I talk for 5 minutes about who Will Stancil is. And she's just like, wow, it sounds like he lives a pretty sad existence. And I'm like, it's a hell of his own design, really. But I appreciate him being one of the last weird leftists on Twitter that won't block you.
I wonder why he doesn't do many interviews. Like, does he?
I don't know. I would no, I'm not. No. I'm not hyperstitioning that into reality. No,
we need to interview Will Stancil.
I
think we could get along with him. I think we could sway him a little bit.
I
can work my Geo charm.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Probably isn't a good idea, but like it's
a terrible idea. But I would be interested, but I don't want that to happen.
Yeah,
we'll carry on. The alternate reality aspect of discourse comes from the fact that social media relies on a virtual environment, both literally and figuratively. Of course, Instagram, TikTok, X, etc. do not physically exist. They are platforms maintained as a layer atop reality or beneath it, depending on your perspective. But it extends figuratively into one sense that there is an online-only debates, perceptions, and ergogores. The 2014 revolution relied on the construction of one such virtual environment in which gendered violence was a rising crisis of the utmost importance in physical mass experiential reality. The folding in of traditional media to this internet-mediated ARG has only served to totalize it in the sense that you can exit the real world and enter the virtual through an ever-increasing number of media products and even physical spaces.
Yeah, that's like how Catherine talks about how Cathy,
there's the God-shaped hole reference. There you go.
Yeah. Like, really, the 2010s wokeness was not a top-down institutional thing. It was more so, like, the students of these academics, like on Tumblr and elsewhere, LiveJournal, taking these Baroque academic concepts and weaponizing them, and then later demanding that their own professors and the institutional apparatuses that they were in then conform to their crazy like gender extremism discourse. And so like it was a total like, and of course like it wasn't like grassroots in the sense like there was obviously a lot of conscious guiding there, if let's call it fortifying, in terms of NGOs and various leftist activist groups. But in terms of how the sort of contagion, the mimetic contagion of the 2010s woke moment, the Great Awakening really spread, it had a lot more grassroots internet-based oomph to it than just assuming that it was a progression of leftist institutions in toto. And so I think like that's a pertinent point to what Alaric is saying here. Is it Ulrich or Alaric?
I have no idea.
I always called him Ulrich.
I'm sure,
like, the goth.
Sure. You know what? It's okay, because as I learned tragically earlier this week, that there are people who deliberately will mispronounce words in order to drive engagement in the comments section,
Really?
to algorithmically boost their video or their live stream.
Like, what would be an example?
A good example would be find a word that you traditionally would only see in a book that you don't see a lot in conversation, or when they try out a new word,
like Brudgius.
Yeah, or elucidate.
Elucidate.
Words that don't typically get said in traditional conversation. Why? Because you usually speak at a 8th grade or lower level when you're on YouTube talking to the masses, because the rising, as Lothrop Stoddard warned in the 1920s, it also applies to the internet. So yes, you have to appeal to the lowest common denominator.
I noticed like a lot of YouTube commentators are on that, like even compared to Twitter, like on average they're a bit more asshole-ish than, Anyway.
Well, I think it's because this platform for like the video essayist, right? Like you are hereby sentenced to watch a 45-minute white guy left of center video essayist on the classism of Frasier. It's over for you. You just get
No!
dragged away to the screen as some like little blue bird profile picture on YouTube is talking about Frasier for 4 hours. You're like, no!
Send me to the old Sparky. I'd rather have that.
Yeah, that is like, actually, Your Honor, I would just rather confess to the murder. So
like Doug Ford, old Sparky.
just send me to old Sparky, please.
Oh, did you see that commercial? Like, apparently that pissed Trump off. This Doug Ford anti-tariff commercial. I don't know. It's fucking stupid. Anyways, the gamification of discourse is two-pronged as well. On one level, platforms gamify the user experience, turning engagement with their app into an addictive Skinner box atop the already present reinforcement methods inherent in the social media. And that is a reference to, I believe Alaric is enough of an old head to remember when you had the Gamergate threads on 8chan that they would talk about how essentially there was this one thing, was it called Gamergate Revolt? Like I remember my friend, actually my best friend who's like the Halo head in real life, he sent me this thread years and years ago. I can never get it. I think it was all like wiped out or whatever. It talked about how like, it was this like schizo post on 8chan about like Gamergate was being guided by intelligence agencies, and it really is sort of like a Skinner box. Like the culture war in general is a weird sort of like observational ARG experiment to see like which side's going to win out. And I remember like that term Skinner boxing rose to prominence at the time as well. But anyways, that's some deep lore. Atop the already present reinforcement methods inherent in social media, furthermore, directly engagement with social media discourse in the realm of politics and culture often take the form of a literal game. Repost chains, harassment campaigns, sharing pictures in a given public figure doesn't want you to see, etc., or participatory action meant to progress, realize, or solve the game. Without mass player engagement, this progression does not happen. Like, I don't know, like harassing Will Stoncil, that would be a good example.
That is probably the most effective gamified feedback loop you can get right now.
Yeah, Zoe Quinn walked so Will Stoncil could run. In this framework, the entirety of the cancel culture phenomenon can be framed as part of the novel discourse ARG, a dispersed network of quasi-anonymous players. Well, a lot of them actually did use their real names and faces, but perform political practice by contacting employers, universities, and news agencies in coordinated harassment campaigns to enforce online social norms and physical reality. This enforcement of the alternative world on physical reality is the key to defining aspects of discourse ARG. Subgames or levels are solved each time ideas from discourse are enforced or otherwise bled into. Mass physical reality. This aspect has been called many things: meme warfare, meme magic, community organization or action, decentralized propaganda. Yeah, it's funny how like if you're on the left, you call it like Owens open source intelligence or activism, but if you're on the right, you call it like Kekistani meme magic or whatever. Like it's very funny how like people have different terms for the same essential ARG reality.
Yeah, and like, and as I was writing in the normie sadism, normie extremism pieces, like this really is sort of the conclusion or the evolution of cultivation theory. Like, because we are now all heavy users inside a mass gamified environment in which we're all like PvP mode is on, as our friend Sumerian Pervert likes to say. Essentially, we are all now consumers of our own beliefs or like our own perceptions of what we do. Like I'm now, you can kind of define yourself by what you promote or what you post or who you stand against. And effectively doing so, this frames your media bias for how like the world is outside of there. So for instance, Americans famously overestimate, by the nature of their propaganda, how many Americans are actually gay in the country. They think sometimes, at least to the last Pew Research Center report a few years ago, it was almost 1 in 5 Americans they assumed were like LGBT. They assumed that the black population was upwards to like 35%, when it's really about 12.9% of the population. And that those kinds of things are, like the it's also affected their perception of crime and who are the criminals. And you see this a lot with TV shows like Law and Order and Law and Order SVU and the rest. Because if Law and Order SVU were accurate, it would be banned from the networks so fast. Because you'll never get statistically accurate Law and Order in any way, shape, or form.
There's a few of them. Remember that one famous guy? He kind of looked like he was in a GTA render. That the black guy is like, I am not gay. I have relationships with women and sex with men. I got news for you. That means you're gay. Like, I know, like Ice-T is such a notorious caller, but like that was
and I love that they would deliberately come up with fake names of real online spaces. I guess either to avoid getting sued, or like, what do you mean about Red Channel or 4chan or whatever? And it's like, you're telling me that there are spaces where people call women foids? You gotta be kidding me. That's right, Mulch. It's been around for a long time in underground online subcultures. You should log in. I've got a... it's okay, Mulch. I don't want to know about your FetLife account, but that's fine.
Well, my mother watched that Chicago MD episode. I remember I was like looking over and she was watching him. Like, I was laughing my ass off. She's like, why the fuck are you laughing at this? I go, just listen. He calls him a feminoid. And it's like, that was like chef's kiss. Like, that was, anyways, I am not gay. Critically participating in this ARG is an esoteric, even occult action. Well, it's very funny. You know, we mentioned Jack Parsons and who was the other guy? He was
a couple. This is not a dig at Alaric's writing or anything. I had said something similar. I was talking about like parafictional spaces and alternate realities that we like when we come up with someone in our heads that we argue against that's based off someone on there. And I did this like thread about this was about 2 months ago, and someone had quote tweeted it. And he's like, this guy had quote tweeted it who follows me, and he was just like, I hate the fact that I understood all this, but it's particularly sad that a lot of basic sociological phenomenon has been reduced to like these sort of gamified terms. And it's just like, well, that's sort of the point. Like, if you mask the sociology or the
talisman, really,
or the media aspect, like this is why reading Lullman and McLuhan and Bayan are so important, because if you're not understanding the basics of like group dynamics or media extension or like gamified media environments, and like there are lectures from like the Santa Fe Institute and other places that you can read about this shit. And it's just like, if you don't understand this, then like, it has a very fantastical, esoteric, almost magical conceptualization to it, because the media itself, because we now allow it to be an extension of ourselves and our psyche and our personality, where people are willing to literally off themselves if things go wrong. It does illustrate that they have like an ability, or as to, what are you doing?
I'm stretching my legs, so I'm putting my chair back.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, and again, it allows you to have sort of almost a magical effect on the user.
No, you know what? You know who used a lot of ARGs? The gay program.
No way.
Yeah, like there was a lot of like in classes they would have ARG simulations, and it was always about some alien trying to behead you or something. Like there was a thread, I forget which forum, that talked about this guy claimed he was a gay kid and they were hunting him down. And his father was a professor of
honestly,
psychology.
Schwab started that, and I think he genuinely mass memed that to where even normie YouTube, like the Nexpo type of YouTuber, talks about that stuff.
Yeah. No, but you mentioned Jack Parsons. You know who knew Jack? I think he knew him. Michael Aquino. That's who I was thinking. Michael Aquino. He was involved in a lot of this stuff and with his mind war thing. And he was also... allegedly, the research by Flesh Simulator talks about this in his videos, and I think Daryl Cooper also talks about this. He was allegedly also involved with the Finders cult, and the Finders also would enforce things on their slaves by that was almost very similar to like ARGs. Like it was almost like, you know, you could tell like the intelligence agencies were gearing, like some people. I know that the show that Cap and Sandy does, Sam Batch. What's that show called? Library of Mass Destruction.
That's their show, yeah.
they talked about how like let's call it SA child little people SA for YouTube purposes, and CSAM, how that is like there's a theory that the reason that these intelligence agencies or groups and cults affiliated with intelligence agencies, the reason they do this is essentially as an extension of like the MK Ultra program to sort of break the human mind at a very early age to then be influenced into something else. And that's
Yeah, that's the
yeah,
stuff that you would see out of Eye of the Chicken Hawk and other books
yes.
that Dimes and Judas have covered on Blood
There
Satellite.
and there was like those two women that alleged, I remember in the 1990s they interviewed them, they alleged that the CIA had kidnapped them, the MK Ultra program, and they were like, you know, they would give them CSAM and all that, and they were kept in cages, and they alleged that they were also playing some kind of like weirdo game where they had to like monitor a target. They were like 9 years old, they were like being taught how to seduce a man, a target, and it was like very funny how, not funny like haha funny, but like it was very strange how they said it was almost like they would encourage us to play a game, and we had to like, but the game was really intelligence, open source intelligence apparatus type of stuff, but that really was foundational in taking these young kids and like molding their mind into becoming like whatever MK Ultra super soldiers or whatever. But I think like in social media, like obviously like we know that political campaigns have been doing this on a mass level. Like everyone freaked out when like people were talking about foreign influence or how like Trump is like using the internet or whatever. But it's funny because like not even a decade before Trumpism, you had like in the pages of mainstream media, like the Obama years. Obama was like, remember the first internet president, and
Yeah.
he would use like Cambridge Analytica and all these like online resources. A lot of that was essentially to gamify online audiences for the purposes of voting. But as we know, like these are very powerful things, like because they're essentially logic games that can operate on a very unconscious level into people.
Well, even in
And
like the
yeah,
public sector or the nonprofit world, in which I have a pretty extensive background in and still do work in, that you have a huge number of ways in which they're trying to gamify giving. Like if you look at the evolution of like giving days, so whether you're almost all states do this through like their community foundation or like major metropolitan areas. So like the DFW area, for instance, has like the North
yeah,
Texas Giving Day. And it's if you look just from what it looks like last year or even this year to let's say 5-10 years ago when they first started doing this, two totally different kind of styles of engagement. And it's the same thing when it comes to donors and volunteer hours. Like I remember going to a lecture, and this was pre-COVID, so 2019, where a lady was talking about trying to incorporate the me factor and trying to find ways in which people can engage with your service or with your charity and to do the volunteer work as a means of um, basically it was gamified, which I'm like, well, if they take photos and you know they have a hashtag to it, like you can give off a random win, or they even did it with the foundation itself. And like if you take a photo and charity and da 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 da, like all of a sudden you realize that you can be part of this and your organization might get selected, and it became like a weird loot box slash roulette table of maybe I'll be the one that wins the like $5,000 check if I just participate in the system. And now all of a sudden my face is on there, it's associated with them, and that may one day be used with me or against me depending on how things go in my like social standing in this community. And even there, it's incredibly gamified. The giving days, the ways in which we get people to do so, and it's also very anti-Christian in the sense that you
yeah,
know if you're to do good works, you should do it in secret because you don't want to be like the hypocrites who do it on the street, so everyone can see that them doing their good works, so they have their reward. But now we want you to have your reward because we're living in a social media environment that encourages you to have instant gratification and for people to be very pharisaical and to say, "Look at me, how I am not like that publican over there, but instead I'm being a heckin' good person, and I've got my selfie and my screenshot saying I'm working for this charity and how fucking based I am." That's a lot of how it is, and it's really tragic. But yeah, almost everything is gamified now at this point.
yeah, 100%. And also, what was I gonna say? Yeah, like Aquino capable of Operation Wandering Ghost and Nam allegedly playing female ghost voices. their souls were wandered for lack of Vietnam funeral rites. Yeah, that was and the Vietnamese also had their own like e-girl waifu that all the GIs were. I remember Count Dankula, he had a great documentary about how like they loved their Asian waifu, all these GIs, because the girl would be like, just surrender GI and we will have mercy on you. Like,
Yeah.
but it's funny, it worked the opposite. Instead of like a demoralization campaign, it actually like energized the American soldiers, because they're like, who is this like beautiful waifu talking to us in the field? Like, it was a very strange type of thing. But the internet has just like essentially exploded. Oh, what I was going to say, you know where a lot of chicken hawk activity was in the 80s and 90s?
Where?
Houston. Houston was a major center for chicken hawk activity. But in that, I think it was in another documentary. It was in that one, and it was another one. This one guy who worked for intelligence agencies, he said, avoid Houston if you're at all costs. If you have like a son or whatever. Apparently, Houston was a major hub of this, and I believe the Finders, they had a network in Houston, New Mexico, I believe one in Pennsylvania, and one in California. So yeah. That's terrifying stuff. We're talking very dark things here tonight in DA.
We sure are.
Yeah. Critically, participation in the ARG is an esoteric, even occult action. Both high-level analysts and basic participants trend towards looking at the online battle space as akin to Plato's realm of forms, in which sorcerers, users, can shift aspects of reality by interacting solely with these forms. You know, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats! You remember...
yeah, except that like fundamentally shifted the election. Like this goes to Alaric's point. Like
that's why they had to
the guys reporting it and then Martin amplifying it literally brought out that issue onto the debate stage.
Yeah. Social media formalizes this relationship by manifesting that theoretical esoteric realm vulgarity or vulgarly, i.e. in a fashion physically accessible to billions of people. The user conception of social media as magical substrate, I use the Nick Land magical substrate, and its subsequent reality shaping effects are best described by Eagle Aspram's The Magical Theory of Politics. That's actually a great book. I highly recommend that one.
I need to go read it.
Which describes the magical war over the 2016 election. In a critical mass insight into this, its critical mass meta-insight is that whether or not terms like sorcerers or magis or mages are accurate insofar as they imply something supernatural is happening, is immaterial. These terms are simply useful to describe the rules and actions involved in the discourse ARG. In fact, the magical terminology only serves to reinforce the alternate reality aspects of it. In this extensive engagement with the discourse ARG, produces language seen by most as schizophrenic, even if it accurately describes the forces at play and their indirect but powerful influence on reality. If I say to you, Dubai chocolate matcha labubu, what am I saying, right? I might as well just be saying, like, you know, rizzing up Liv Dunny in Ohio. Like, you know, it's like, but if you say, like, the Will Stonsel show, it do be like that Will Stonsel. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like
I've had that fucking theme song stuck in my head for like 3 days.
The Will Stonsel show. Like, there was a guy in a group chat that said, I was watching the second episode and my 5-year-old daughter walked in the room and started saying it do be like that Will Stonsel. It's like, that. First of all, that's probably not cool. But second of all, like, you know what's so funny? I know we should be talking about this, but like, there are like normie conservative, like, big accounts that are trying to like do like, they're trying to like revive, like they're trying to like opticify Emily Yukis. She's like, the woke left cancel. Well, you know what's funny? It's true. The woke left did cancel Emily Yukis, but it's like. Oh my God! Like, I think you said this. Can you imagine, like, Chris Rufo trying to Google? Can you imagine Yoram Mazzoni trying to like Google Emily Yukis?
Yeah, like, good luck.
Good luck. Oh my god!
Like you may like for all the times that the other N-word gets thrown around, you may have actually landed on one.
Yeah. But it's so funny because all these like normie conservatives are like, see, the woke left, they're actually just canceling someone, they're calling her a Nazi, and even though like, Austrian Painter fan, and then even though like Emily Uke is like, no, actually, I am an Austrian Painter fan. They're like, see,
We see through your dog whistles. Well, but the other thing too, like for those who are younger, and I know this sounds like
you don't remember Emily Uke on Newgrounds. You don't remember Alfred Alford.
No, but also keep in mind there was a point in time in American politics, and if you thought this era was wild, like keep in mind, like just remember Trump in 2016. There is a video of him marching on the stage to "Do You Hear the People Sing" from Les Mis, but it is less deplorables, and the people are going wild. This, and you can go look up the video. It is from September 16th, 2016, from Bloomberg Television. It's a wild trip. And then you had the people editing it with all the Pepe frogs for list deploy. It was so good. It was such a great time to get fucking one-shotted on the internet.
It's funny, Cyber Chud. I've been saying that all the time too. Like, somebody's gonna do something. And that somebody is me. And it's like it like zooms in on Will Stonsel. Like, that's like hilarious.
It's so good.
Somebody's gonna do something. And oh man, what are we doing here? What are we doing?
Because we're reading.
All right.
Why? That's a great question. Why are we here, Gio? Let's. It's 2000. I don't know, 5 or 6 or 7. I don't know when the fuck the first episode came out. Now that I'm saying that,
2009.
No, for
20. It was right after. It was right after I stormed out of BTR.
No. What? No, April 1st, 2003 is what I'm thinking of. Because why are we here? I was about to reference Red versus Blue. Sorry for aging myself there. But like, why are we here? Why are we here, Simmons? Why are we here?
Think, what was I doing? And I was watching Monday Night Raw in 2003.
So why are you on the internet, Gio? Why are you in this magical play space?
Okay, because when I was younger, I watched a lot of like deep lore, esoteric stuff on TV. Like I was like a, but like the internet like really opened my horizons, and I feel like my personality type, and my trajectory, I feel like I was bound to be a creature of the internet. And so like, okay, 2003, my first computer I got in 2005 or 4. Like it was a hand-me-down. And so, yeah, like, I feel like, I was on MSN Messenger at the time. It was like, I don't know. It was like, how like, okay, I'll tell you, like, how like on 4chan, you used to have those green texts, even though like 4chan is effectively like dead, or it's a shell of itself.
Oh yeah.
Where you had like all these like green texts on either, not just on Paul, but like on the robot board. You had like all these green texts about like, well, like, that green text, that kid in school.
Yeah.
Like that kid that like shit in the urinal, that kid that like, said gamer words in class, that kid, and I was thinking about this. I was thinking about this a long time ago, where how like all of these millennials and like younger millennials to like Gen Xers or even like Zoomers, they all sort of like, when they went to high school or when they went to school, it's like they came online into this mass social environment. And for a lot of these guys on the robot board, it was like that was the last time they had like actual IRL social interactions with people, and they would share the lore in their stories of all the crazy stuff they did as like terminally online like outcasts, right? Like, I don't, maybe we like mythologize it, but I was thinking about this, like, it's very funny how when you live in the online world for so long, you sort of like have a different experience about things. And again, maybe I'm just romanticizing it, or maybe I wasted my life. But you sort of like mythologize this aspect of yourself, if you are a creature of the online world, if you're like a netocrat, where you have like a different direct experience into these like different things that a lot of people you grew up around just simply don't have, or they don't have like the same, capacity of interest. And I was thinking, like, when I read all those threads, there were like a lot of kids like our age or younger or older, where it's like, they were like, and a lot, of course, they're obviously probably having it up, but it's like all these like they went to school and they were causing chaos because they were like these social outcasts, spurgoids, and there was something about that, about like, okay, all these people, they have the similar experience. If you're like a millennial growing up in North America, but you're also terminally online, it's like, yeah, you could relate to that, because then you're like, well, I remember a kid in my school was like that. And then you grow up further, you get older, and the internet itself becomes different as you go along, and there's newer people being added to it, and the content is different, the social media platforms are different. It's like you can experience a lifetime in a relatively short amount of time on the internet, and that, I think, is what really attracted me to it, because I really could not, like, I mean, I have friends that are all, don't get me wrong, but like I couldn't relate to a lot of people I grew up around. And the online world was, to me, more exciting and sexy, and there was something about it that made me tick. But what about you, Prude? Like, was it something similar for you, or I don't know? You were actually like, you actually did have like more of a normative and formal experience growing up, so
I guess, question mark. I don't know. I mean, I grew up. I'm a third.
you actually had
culture.
sex on prom night. There you go. That would be a good barometer.
I did not. I mean, I had sex in high school, but I don't think it was on prom night. But I mean,
No, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
You know, for the longest time, Gio, this show really was the sex haver and the sex not havers. But I'm glad that that's no longer the case, and you're a fake cell like the rest of us. But
Oh, yeah.
no, I'm a third culture kid by nature of my father's career, and I mean, he was enlisted. Like I never, it was never anything where like shit glows or whatnot. My dad just followed the tradition of his father and father before him. But like, so, I mean, I lived overseas. I've lived on all the coasts. I lived in the borderland. And so I like my normative upbringing was like, well, home is where the army sends you, and you had to like compartmentalize emotionally. It wasn't until high school. I mean, like I was always political in the sense that like, this is why I have like very bittersweet feelings about George W. Bush. And like, I feel like
Yeah.
a lot of my adult life has been trying to make sense of what the fuck I grew up under, which was Bush and Obama. Cause like, I remember 9/11. I remember '04, and the school I was in had a mock election where all the elementary school kids could vote, and like George W. Bush won re-election by a landslide.
Not Ralph Nader.
2004 was Bush versus Kerry.
No, but I figure like high school students to be like Redding and Ralph Nader.
No, I mean, well, I wasn't in high school in '04.
Oh,
By the time
yeah,
I was in high school, it was
Obama.
it was Romney and Obama, and then when I was in college, it was the first Trump election. But like I was involved in politics since 2014, just like on a local level, doing local basic, interest sort of stuff. I wasn't online yet. And as I've said before, like my media consumption was 3 different avenues. It was like the sort of like Sargon adjacent sphere, and I was itching, and I discovered more right-wing things. This is back when Semiagog was like new on the internet. This is back when Millennial Woes and the Iconoclast were still on YouTube. The same with American Krogan. And then, but also like my main 3, of course, were like that kind of stuff, like This Week in Stupid, NPR's All Things Considered, and then Rush Limbaugh on the EIB network. And so it wasn't really until COVID, like a lot of people, I guess, where I decided to throw my hat in the ring. Like I've written stuff before. I had political thoughts. I studied political science and U.S. history. Like I felt like I had a pretty decent understanding for how the world works, then you realize the world doesn't work that way.
Mm.
So I was sitting in dialysis at the time, listening to I think it was an academic agent stream with people I'm now mutuals with, which is wild to think about. And I thought, I could try this. Why not give it a shot again? Because this wasn't the first time I tried doing something. But I talked about that last episode. So I made a channel. I've been doing this now for 5 years, and it's hard to put value on the last 5 years of my life doing this, because on one hand, the doors that have been opened question mark, have been wild, like I wouldn't have met you. And I haven't even met you physically in person, but like I wouldn't have met some amazing people. I wouldn't be part of some amazing groups, and I wouldn't, know about Alaric's work or Schwab or any of the other guys whose ideas really influenced me. And my whole YouTube name is an homage to Dave Green, the distributor. So I was like, well, I'm not a Roman Catholic, but I like the idea. So I was like, prudence of forethought. Let's go with that. And since then, it's just been like, well, I like talking about the things that interest me. A tiny bit of me low-key wishes I had done my original plan, because I had built my PC, and I was like, oh, I'll just do like video game review essays like every other white guy with too much time on his hands. But I didn't end up doing that. And instead, I've done this. And I don't know. I've never taken the time to really pause and consider, what have I gotten out of this? I mean, I've gotten money, and I'm very grateful for the money, but I'm not in it for the money. Like if I were in this for the cash, I'd be Hassan Piker, and I'd be shocking my dog, like I'd have a shock.
Or you'd just be
Gio.
like you'd just be like a video game reviewer, like you were gonna do.
Yeah, like if I wanted to do this for money, I'd be like Patrician TV or private sessions or something like that, But like, I have to hide my power level.
Oh, my origin story in terms of becoming a personality is well known. Like I sent that essay I did in grad school where I mentioned Nobody TM. I actually emailed Nobody TM, because there used to be on the chat room function his email.
Did he reply?
Yeah, and he replied, and he put the article on the site, and then that's how I connected with Adam Wallace. I don't know what he's doing. I think he totally left the internet to become like just a normal person. And that's when I started writing for West Coast, and then West Coast folded, and then I started writing for Thermometer Magazine. And like, I mean, my one regret would be not starting YouTube earlier and not perfecting my podcasting skills. And that would have I think that would have made me more salient to a YouTube audience rather than like a Twitter audience. And I probably wouldn't have done BTR, and it would have been different. But like, yeah, that's my origin story. I basically wrote that essay, Beholding a New Pale Horse. Then I became a writer. Then I became a poster. Then I became a podcaster. And the artwork was always like spliced in between. And there you go. That's my origin story.
Yeah.
No, but in terms of like how I became online, it was like, yeah, at a very early age. Like it was, my political thing was, of course, like, I would listen to like Michael Savage, but my big thing was the Michael Corrin show. That was like because my old man would always like read the National Post, and I always read Michael Corrin's articles. And then I started watching his show, and then he became a libtard. He broke my heart. I actually ranted. It's funny. I ranted about this with Kruptos, because he's also a Leaf that lives in Ontario. And, like I just had this mega rant against Michael Corrin, who I have met in real life, by the way. So any Leafs in the audience, remember the Michael Corrin show. That was my formative political thing. But that, and like, I even like listened to a little bit of, as embarrassed as I am to admit this, I even listened to a little bit of Mark Levin, because I remember Mark Levin was good when he was like trolling, he was like trolling like libtards that would call him. And I remember I would piss everybody off in high school, because I would do the whole thing. I would be like, let me educate you. I would be like in civics class. Like, let me educate you.
I was definitely also that kind of piece of shit in high school, where I was like, I'm willing to argue with you. And I held on to that even into college. And I had a con law professor who let me have it, because like I was the only one with any public speaking skills because of speech and debate in high school, and I still did it in college. And like she and I vehemently disagreed on like all issues, but she was like, you're entertaining, so I guess I'll let you talk and have your moment. Because like I think we were arguing like Lawrence.
I've God and conservative talk radio on my side.
Yeah, don't fuck with me. I got God and anime on my like. That's it. That's all I did. I had fucking Rush Limbaugh and Sargon of Akkad on my side. Like,
you know what's
top of the world. You can't stop me.
You know it's so
like
fun.
I think we were arguing about Lawrence v. Text or whatever. And I was like, yeah, this is like the court made the wrong decision. And they're like, well, you believe in like the freedom of association to like kick these people out? I'm like, yes, actually, that's a good thing.
As the Constitution. You know what's so funny is that I was recently,
and then I found out that the president of my college Republicans chapter was gay, and I was like, well, this is awful.
Oh my god. I was recently, it came out today.
You came out today? I'm so sorry.
Yeah. No, I was on, it came out today. I was on the Sidebar podcast, the Slop King one with, it was just David and Gabe, my stepson. I had to do my,
your wife's son.
My spiritual wife's son. I had to do my, 6-month supervised visit with Gabe. And we talked about Joshua Cittarella's podcast. And it's funny because I had this rant about, you mentioned about, like, let me educate you. I had this rant. There was this guy that Joshua Citarella interviewed where he was like, imagine the archetype of a younger millennial stoner that, like, just can't articulate anything for the life of him besides, like, whoa, dude, yeah, you know that type, right?
Yeah.
I think his name is Fowler, Michael Fowler, something like that. Fowler, his last name's Fowler. And he was talking about how he grew up in this, like, totally, like, a cattle. I said, this guy's like a total cattle slave because he grew up in a conservative Christian household. And he's like, I was 11 years old and I was like listening to Rush Limbaugh and that radicalized me. Then I discovered smoking weed and Jon Stewart and that, like, pulled me away from that. And then I became like an atheist because I, like, listened to this, like, Richard Dawkins podcast and, like, whoa. And I'm like, this is like a total existential cipher of millennial media. Like, there's not a person here. This is not I listen, the guy seemed nice enough, but, like, he wasn't radicalized into shit. He was like a nothing. Like, he literally is like some kind of abstraction. Like, I was 11 years old and I listened to Rush Limbaugh. Then I discovered The Daily Show. And it's like it's like there's nothing there. There's not a person there anymore.
I would love a negative XP style song where it's like Jon Stewart ruined a whole generation of millennials. Like that song needs to be written.
And then they were talking about the gay program, and I'm like, bro, I don't think you're smart enough. I don't think you were a gay.
I don't think you got picked, buddy.
I don't think you got picked.
I think you got filtered. I hate to break it to you. I don't think they decided to touch you.
Oh my god.
Or maybe they did and decided that, like, yeah, he's not worth our time.
But there's like millions of millennials like this. There's millions of them. And it goes into what Alaric is saying here, because they do kind of view reality as an ARG. Because it's funny, it's something that my good friend, a Spum Donor, said in his part 3, the last part of, ironically enough, video essay of his his video essay series, How Disney Stole Your Childhood. And then he was talking about, like, how Disney had to conform to sort of like the transnational progressive, like, post-national American vision of, like, what is an American? It's anybody, right?
Yeah.
But he was talking about how, you know, people talk about how nostalgia is inherently reactionary and fascistic or whatever. But Disney is by all means a progressive company, but they have, like, weaponized nostalgia to where the people that grew up on all these intellectual properties that they've basically pillaged and taken over, like Star Wars, or do they own Harry Potter now, Disney?
I don't think so. I think that's owned by Fox. No, I guess that is owned by Disney.
It's owned by Disney.
I don't
now,
know.
yeah.
I don't know who. I
yeah,
don't know
Simpsons.
Who owns.
Yeah.
I guess it's all under there. So yes, functionally it's owned by them.
So, like, all these intellectual properties, they are designed to keep you in a state of adolescent nostalgia forever.
Yeah, the Eternal September.
Yeah, the Disney adult. And that is, in a sense, you playing a sort of role play, but your own life. Because the reality that we've experienced since 2008, or rather, well, since 9/11, but like, let's say for argument's sake, from 2008 onwards, has been bleak and abysmal and frustrating and in a very deep sense of,
Yeah, you can role play your
yeah,
deepest, disgusting fanfiction.net fantasies.
yeah. But now Disney's going to have a theme park specifically
And
designed
Disney
for
has
you
a
to go
theme
to.
park that you can go and spread daddy's ashes in
Yeah,
and goon, and you'll be fine.
like,
Do
did you see
not
that?
worry that you will never own a house.
Yeah,
You
like,
will
did you see
never
that
own a home, but that's okay because
walkable
you
Disney adult
can go to
cities?
Disney World and all the shirts there are for people your size, and they'll sell you a special cream so your feet don't fucking atrophy because you're 300 pounds walking around in 89-degree weather, trying to relive the last glimpses of your childhood. But this also is like a left-wing soteriology point. So like salvation
Yeah.
is found in the left through constant reification of the progressive value that may have been in an original product. So
Yeah, like they say,
like we have to like,
Stavros
so
is
they
gonna
remake
save young men.
Lilo and Stitch, or they remake everything else that's been out there, but it is
Yeah.
catered for a more modern audience. So like even Aladdin,
Man
right?
child or woman child audience. But like, that's like that one video, the Disney opened up this, like, what's it called, Ultron or whatever, like section of the theme park, and it's like you have all these like millennial Disney kids running through it, and it's like nobody under the age of 30 is running through this thing, this new theme
There's
park
no
in
children
Disney.
there.
There's no children there, and
Like,
everyone,
congratulations, you're a fucking mountain goat song. Like, well done, Disney.
like, everyone was commenting like, where's all the kids? There's no kids here. And this one guy, like, videotaping it, he's like, whoa, this is so cool, like, you go into this theme park and like this part of it, but it's like, okay, but there's no children here, there's no children with family, there's no families.
Well,
It's just like,
Aristophanes had retweeted that too not too long ago. It was someone who was like, yeah, we went to Disney World and I couldn't find a single shirt in children's sizes.
why would you?
Exactly. I mean, like,
It's
why
not their
would
audience.
you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because when you think about it, has Disney, like, have they had like an original cartoon like with Mickey Mouse? How long has it been?
They've had children's programming for a while. How good it is, I don't know. But also, like,
Yeah.
I don't watch it. But they also know that they have an entire generation of people that have been raised on this crap that aren't
Yeah.
going anywhere either. And why would they go anywhere? Because it's a place I feel safe and it's a place I feel home. And like that's the very strange thing about like the dating market or whatever you want to call it today, is that there are a whole bunch of women who are into that sort of stuff and they want to constantly relive it or enjoy it and feel that way. And it's like, well, that's their call to do so, I guess. I find it absolutely bizarre, but it's like, no thanks, because I grew up from that and I didn't like read fan fiction literature that I'm now like, my neuroplasticity is permanently wired to only get off to these kind of themed things. And it reminds me of that terrible Zach Wienersmith comic from Saturday Morning Breakfast Cereal where like the grandmother's like, no, you can only watch Disney porn. And it's just like, yikes. But that's the future in which we're heading in towards.
Well, that's like that
as the Disney adults become like the grandmas and the wine aunts of those that have managed to reproduce. It's just like,
that's like that's
we're forced to deal with.
Couple, the lesbian couple in Caleb Hammer's show. The one girl was a Disney adult, and like that's how they blew all their money.
Yeah,
they get jobs. So it's from like going to Disney like multiple times a year. And then Caleb Hammer's just like having an aneurysm. He's like, "Why are you're gonna go again? You're drowning in debt. You tit."
It's Mecca for them, I guess. You got to make the Hajj to Disney World.
You have to pay. Yeah, you have to pay like the 10% to Disney.
you gotta give the 10% to Disney World. But we'll carry on and keep reading some more. The reality shaping goal of the discourse ARG defines in its opposition to the original all-encompassing ARG, the market. Even a vague familiarity with Wall Street shows it to be an alternate on a basic level, with outsiders seeing its spasms as nonsensical actions that only make sense with some sort of dream logic. On a basic level, Baudrillard pointed out the unreal nature of the investment world, alienated from production and the transparency of evil. Quote, there is something much more shattering than inflation, however, that is the mass of floating money whirling about the earth in an orbital rondo. Money is now the only genuine artificial satellite, a pure artifact. It enjoys a truly astral mobility and it is instantaneously convertible. Money has now found its proper place, a place far more wondrous than the stock exchange, the orbit in which it rises and sets like some artificial sun. Speculation is not surplus value, it is a sort of ecstasy of value, utterly detached from production and its real conditions, a pure empty form, the purged form of value operating on nothing but its own revolving motion, its own orbital circulation.
It's tragic that he died in 2007 before like the rise of like cryptocurrency, Labubu's,
I
meme
still can't get over the
coins.
fact that I was at this like fall festival 3 weeks ago and
Yeah.
a guy had nothing but Labubus on sale at a table. I
Knock
was
off
like, who the
Chinese
fuck is
Labubus.
buying these? And then by the end of the festival, because it stopped due to like, I guess he had packed up early because he sold out. And I was like, how?
Yeah.
I don't understand this world. But nevertheless, he goes on to liken the gamified aspects of the stock market to poker, in which the betting and bluffing between players is the basic financialized game. This is a generally useful assessment. Thus, in the market, we have a real-time multimedia mass participatory game that leverages some sort of alternate world and only progresses via the actions of its players, the original and longest-running ARG in human history. But the market meta ARG is fundamentally opposite to the discourse ARG in both form and function. Since 1773, the stock market has operated on the same basic concept centered around a variety of reality reinforcing principles. Effective investments are made by having a better comprehension of reality than the rest of the game's players, present and future demand, supply chain dynamics, management employee quality, etc. Insofar as stocks and other commodities, even complex derivatives, are simulacra, their basic alignments with reality is reinforced on a regular basis via financial reports. No matter how complex the financialized commodity, it ultimately must represent some sort of underlying real value. This alignment with reality is reinforced by the nature of the stock trading. The most basic source of value in a stock investment is an under or over evaluation. A gap between stock price and intrinsic value represents a misalignment from reality, and investors are rewarded for finding and exploiting these situations. Thus, the ever-increasing rapid quant trading system serves as a sub-game that rewards players for constantly reinforcing the stock market's alignment with reality. Of course, the system is far from perfect, and if perfectly interfaced with reality, or even if it hypothetically could, it would soon be no value in financial services, and the entire economic system of free market capitalism would be automated in moments.
Yeah, it's
Maybe
bullshit
we're
jobs.
already there.
Yeah, bullshit jobs. It's true.
Yeah.
Queuing Sean
and you know,
Weiland.
500 million Indians to Amazon. Just
Didn't they have massive cuts? Amazon?
They just had massive warehouse layoffs. Yeah.
Oh my god, why?
That's a good question. We're about to hit the holiday rush too. It's kind of wild.
I wonder. We should get Sean Weiland here to talk about this. Like, if like now that we like, it's sort of like a weird way how like
well we have to target
our
our like perpetual Gen X energy.
Yeah. No, but like how the internet is also influencing the way that people do economics. Like,
oh, of course.
Perpetual pump and dumps and like speculation and spectacle. And,
everyone's got a meme coin now.
Yeah.
I need to get a meme coin.
No, but also like
the way that money. People trade.
Yeah, me too.
My meme coin will fund my wedding. Frog coin now. Prude coin now. I need Marty to make like 20 special Prude NFTs so like my fucking venue is paid off.
Oh my god.
Marty, I know you're watching. Get on it. Kiki, I know you're here in chat. Get on it.
Is it true that Marty only has one nut?
No, Marty has both nuts. But
he had a torsion?
Yes, he did.
Oh my god. That was like, was it a million, or was it Crowcorp that had, it was in the middle of was it Pride, or was it a UFC event where he got kicked in the nuts so hard he had a torsion, and like the staff had to like put a towel over him and like rearrange his nuts. Then he continued the fight. I think he won after. It was like Crowcorp.
You don't mess with a man's balls.
Yeah. Or was it Emelianenko? I forget who it was. If someone's more acquainted with
chat, will tell us very shortly.
With MMA. No, but like it's funny because the stock market, it kind of is like an ARG in the sense of like value and what is the perception of value. I mean, I know the contemporary art world is also like that, but anyways, let's read ahead.
But I'll carry
Nick Land
on.
Fang Numina.
Yeah,
the K-War.
I'm gonna move straight here into this part.
Postmodern culture crosses. Well, that is an important quote. Go on.
Yeah, we'll just read it. A postmodern culture crosses to hypermania and goes nova. It singularizes multiplicities of invasively auto-replicating plexo-weapon systems that are nothing beyond their war against security. This is no longer a question of ideological representation, exogenous political mobilization, theoretical critique, or strategic orientation, but decentralized cultural diagrams functioning as imminent forces of antagonism. K-War derives its sole coherence from the unity of its foe.
Well, it's like when you say, like, politics has become everything in culture, meaning politics is effectively nothing. It sort of like obliterates itself. Like, this is what Baudrillard was saying about the art world, how the work of art obliterates itself, not in the sense it becomes a walled off thing that isn't approachable by any normal person, but rather it is destroyed by proliferation everywhere. In the same way, you could say that, like, when we say, like, all politics is essentially cultural, or it instantiates the basis of modern culture, that means that, like, really nothing is politics, right?
Yeah.
In a weird way. But anyways, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, from which one is that from? That's from what, Hypervirus, I think.
I think it's from Hypervirus, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if Nick Land was playing EVE Online at the time.
Not, well, maybe when that was written, no.
No, probably not, but like later.
You could ask him. You can ask him.
Have you ever played EVE Online, Mr. Land?
There you go, Mr. Land. Do be like that, Mr. Land. That do be a banger tweet, Mr. Land. God, I've merged the memes. The discourse ARG was loosely defined in the preceding section. This section aims to model out the ARG in its current state by examining its gameplay, structure, history, cultural outgrowths, various aspects of its meta. I am going to move down a little further here. Broadly, the four most discourse-loaded subjects are politics, sex, violence, and media.
Yep.
All aspects of discourse fall into one or more of these pathways, and the teams are formed around their views of the four pillars. If you only know someone's interpretation of Starship Troopers, you can derive with startling accuracy their beliefs on dating and marriage, police use of force, American history, religion and tax policy, or vice versa. This is not solely the fact that personal philosophies tend to trend one way or another, and it is more ascribable to team-based nature of the discourse ARG. To continue with the example of Starship Troopers, beginning in 2023, this 26-year-old film joined the legion of somewhat silly media products.
Shout out to Isaac Young.
Thank you, Isaac Young. And go subscribe to his YouTube channel and listen to his great, great fiction. It's good science fiction not made by retards. Go follow Isaac Young on Twitter. He has a Harry Seldon profile picture. Great guy. So this 26-year-old film joined the legion of somewhat silly media products, revived as battleground concepts, and near instantly transformed into tribal shibboleths. Prior to that revival, its interpretations were diverse and often unserious. However, once it became a battleground concept, again, thank you to Isaac Young, the interpretation speciated into two well-defined views, which now do seemingly endless battle on social media. We always have. It's every 6 months. Every 6 months. It's like clockwork as the dog returns to its vomit. The debate over Verhoeven's satire is only one small instance of the polarization that defines discourse and thus American political life. Thousands of similar examples have cemented across various media properties, as we've seen recently with DHS, the White House, and ICE posting about Halo. Tropes, politicals, debates, memes, and standards of personal behavior as tribal emblems. The overall meta shift is towards politics as fandom, in which the primary goal is not to hash out our policy changes, philosophies, or candidates, but to become better versed in one's group's shibboleths in order to push against those of the opposing groups. Drive-by gang shootings on the timeline. You see,
it's funny how he didn't say Cat D there because he hates women, so he can't cite a woman. I'm kidding. I mean, he kind of does, but like I'm not casting shade to Alaric. It's just it's very funny. He mentioned
there are like three women I follow, and I think it's like Catherine, Helen Andrews, and I think someone who works with the Blaze. Like that's it.
Oh man,
there are maybe like 5 women I follow. I don't know. We've had this discussion.
No, but it's funny because like he talks about like violence, media literacy, sex, and politics. Like you could really, I mean, I know it's like a Freudian. As a Jungian, I feel like violating myself, but like you could really boil this down to a Freudian point of the libidinal energy animates all of this discourse. Maybe not like the Starship, like maybe a little bit, but like certainly it seems that every mass discourse on TikTok and Twitter is usually of a libidinal nature. Like today, I saw that Homath guy, he like posted this like huge screed of some random millennial woman saying she's voting for Mandani. And it's like, why are you doing this? You're literally doing the whole, like you're giving the left this thing of like, you know, you're Mafugin Sitharoth or whatever. And it's like, you could have just said like, this woman's stupid or whatever. But like, it seems that every month or two, there's some e-girl or there's like some gender war slop Discord. What is that? What Dave calls it? Gender war slop. Like there's so, like you could literally take all this, the discourse ARG, you could literally take all of the animating tenets that he laid out and just pin it to one thing: sexuality. That's it. I know that's reductionistic, but behind it, there is something there. There is like a libidinal economy of mimetic exchange that is going on there when it comes to all of these discourse baubles, when it comes to mainstream politics, when it comes to like last week was the Dino woman, Dino woman, like
Dino Mommy,
yeah, Dino Mommy, like all of it. Whatever
I hate
RFH
to
tweets
cite,
out.
I hate to cite the Dasha tweet, but it really does kind of boil down to that.
Stop sexualizing my tight web pussy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, that's bait. And we all know that it's bait. Like, you know that you're willingly engaging in a structure that is going to elicit a reaction. We all do this because you know damn well, and I mean, like, and Alaric knows this too because we're all part of it. Like, we're engaging in group chat drive-bys where we will engage mimetically on the timeline to specifically piss people off that we don't like or to go after someone. There are whole memes that I can't really go into detail where it's like, you know, like Mr. Electric, instead of Mr. Electric, it's the name of a certain group chat that will literally sodomize someone on the timeline for the purposes of getting them to log off. And that's why you get a lot of people on various groups that will investigate each other because this is the point.
It's like all these like there's like these Canadian right-wing accounts that, you know, Aaron O'Toole, who's like this like failed conservative politician or whatever, he's like going to war with all of these like nationalist anons, and he's like crashing out at like, you know, Black Horse and Fortissax. And it's very funny though, like this guy was like at the top of the Conservative Party and he's like boomer posting to like racist anons. And it's like, why are you doing this? If I was Aaron O'Toole, why would I be doing this? Why are you doing this? You are a mainstream conservative politician, but you can't help yourself. It's just very funny. It's very funny. But my point being that like all of this stuff does boil down to some kind of libidinal energy. And I think like the internet, I mean, let's be real here. I know like people talk about this, it's like a meme, but it is true. Like the backbone of a lot of the growth of internet and telecommunication technology has been to more effectively essentially spread sexuality across the globe via corn, you know, like that's like video technology, bandwidth, it's, you know, increased because of this. And I think like there is obviously some kind of phonic womb-like libidinal energy to the internet itself. And so that's why you have people who are ostensibly, you know, smart, and they may have like political instincts, or they may be like rationalists or whatever, like, you know, like saying like with Homath or whoever, it's like, okay, if you're like posting on the internet and you have like, you're trying to legitimize yourself, but you're being distracted by some tart that's saying she's voting for Madani. It's like, and she's like posting a selfie of her voting. Like, first of all, why are they going to post a selfie? Right? Because like, okay, if she just tweeted that like, I'm going to vote for Madani, it's like, it wouldn't matter. But it's because she's posting a selfie, and that's bait. And then you take the bait by having a 7-paragraph screed about why, like, you know, the West has fallen because of whatever, women, blah, 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 women's rights, whatever. So it's like, it never ends. It never ends. And the more you see it, the more you've been around the block, the more you can like notice when it's happening. And you can see like, okay, I know where this is going to go. I mean, that's all goes nowhere. But you know how it's going to start. You know how the bait is going to be taken. You know how the various sides are going to play. Like I remember that Starship Troopers debate over the summer a year ago. Or 2
Yeah.
years ago. 2 years
years
ago.
ago.
Oh my God. Like, it was like right after Clownvid. Everyone was like finally breathing a sigh of relief. Then all of a sudden, bam! Like right away, just some random right-wing Twitter account posts this thread about Starship Troopers. And it's either you're for the bugs or you're for the cosmic Giga Chads. And there's no in between, and there's media literacy, and you're not getting it, man. But it's like, what are you going to get? Are you going to get Verheeven's interpretation or Heinlein's interpretation? What really matters in this great chain of samsara that is media literacy, right? But even that has some kind of gender war slop attached to it. Because then, remember the bear versus the man in the woods thing?
We know how that ended.
You know how that ended, right? Like, it goes on. I don't know. It's just like I think like what Alaric is saying is that it's a giant game.
And it goes on and on and on.
But here's the thing, though,
and the game continues as long as you're committed to the bit.
Right, but just do the bit. Nothing matters but the bit. I know that nobody gets it right now, but that's part of the bit, right? Just keep doing the bit. No, but the point being is that, like, why is it continuing? I think we have to ask ourselves this, right? Now, you could be conspiratorial, which I certainly am inclined to, because what I didn't mention when we were talking about our formative years is that, you know, I was really big into the conspiracy stuff and Coast to Coast AM and Alex
Jones. I was
Jones.
big into UFO shit and ghost sightings.
Yeah.
My grandfather had so many books on it. So I would read everything that my grandfather had on like ghost sightings in the South. And
nice.
Then my dear, dear, sweet grandmother, who is some kind of Southern Baptist dispensationalist. I have read all of the Larry B. Jenkins Left Behind series, so I had a warped understanding of spirituality and God as a kid that really turned me into an agnostic. I was like, there's no way this can be right. Like, I'm just not going to believe in anything.
There's like a whole treasure trove cottage industry of like Southern ghost sightings and like Civil War ghost sightings. And,
honestly, on that note, though, if you really want to appreciate local homegrown culture, I would really encourage people who are, you know, in their small town or even in their local area. There's going to be bookstores and antique stores that have local publishing on these issues, like local ghost stories and things like that, local cryptids and sightings. I really cannot recommend it enough for you to buy those books, because someone has probably gone through the long and arduous effort to try and like get these stories right.
Oh, here in Niagara, we have a ton of them too because of all the War of 1812 stuff.
Yeah,
like Niagara and the lake. Yeah,
even where I live, which I'm not going to be specific, but like I went to we went furniture shopping. My fiance and I we stopped by an antique store. Oh, shut up!
Aww.
But the sections there had local authors, and all of it was about like gunfights, outlaws, ghost sightings, and cryptids. And the really cool Civil War history. And I was like, I'm fucking sold. I bought a copy of each book. And they have been an absolute treasure trove. And it's what inspired me to join my historical society here in my county. So I was like, this is great. Although I've been going there a lot longer, but like a formal membership and everything else like that. It's really worth your time. I can't behoove it enough, but we will.
Antiquing with the wife.
Oh, fuck you. You'll be doing that soon. You'll be doing that soon.
No, but my point being is that I'm sorry, Pri, I had to do it. Had to do it to him. Even that like is a meme. But anyways, no, but like we have to ask ourselves, like, why is this why does it continually happen? Now, there is just like the grassroots normative explanation of like, this is how psychology works in a largely anonymous online medium. All of your sort of like perverse tics and your sort of gripes with the other gender and your own like repressed feelings over things get let out, and then you can inform like a mob, like, you know, or you can like do some kind of like stupid gender slop posting, and it's very fun and it's sexy and it like relates to people's experiences. And there's also like a conspiratorial element in that there is an investment by certain like people more powerful than us in really trying to maintain the Skinner box online samsara forever, and to generate information and to generate engagement and to really benefit off of people's lowest base appetitive instincts in an online world, whether not just like slop farmers, engagement farmers, but even like people that, you know, are in NGOs and are in these groups and are in these intelligence agencies, and people that maybe do it for free as well. Like there's a real investment, I think, into people like engaging in usually of a highly libidinal nature, this type of slop discourse. And there, we all know that, like, we know the sides, we know that there's no resolution, we know that people are going to say bombastic things and double down on their positions because you've said something stupid, or you know, and it never ends.
Well, I mean,
But
Dave also wrote about this, like, I want to say about a decade ago now. He was talking about how I think the video is called "How the Super Chat Kills the Alt-Right."
yeah,
Because it literally, you are financially now incentivized to say and double down on the most bombastic shit imaginable that may not be something you believe in, or it may not
right,
be something that's like a fully like fleshed out policy position. But nevertheless, like, someone gave you the money to do it, and now it's like dance monkey dance, because why not? Because you're gonna get money out of it. And why the fuck wouldn't you want to do that? Because now you can make a living by saying dumb retard shit on the internet without fully, you know, analyzing what the consequences of that might be. And when that takes place, just like with this show, I'm sure there are plenty of things on here that I would
oh
love to
boy,
take back.
I mean,
You know, dumber things and worse memes have been made, but like, it does come to show that they're not only the gamified aspect of it, but they're deliberately designed to be addictive. Like, there have been reports about, like, you know, hiring psychologists and neurologists to come like examine how do we make these things more engaging, and how do we make the user interface in a way that makes it harder for someone to leave, or maybe that they want to like more, or how fast can we scroll. And this is why short form content has gotten the attention that it has, because you can go through like a million Instagram reels on Facebook or Instagram itself and not even realize how much time has passed. And then you're left kind of wondering, well, damn, like, where did the hour go? And it's sort of just like a really crazy thing to think about in that regard. It's a lot.
yeah. Oh, I think Ulrich is saying that he actually did speculate in the next essay about the cause of like why this keeps going on forever and ever. And also, I'm receiving threats
All the more reason to buy book.
in the chat, so
You're receiving threats.
I'm going to be boiled alive soon. So they're going to do this to me tomorrow.
I can't wait.
Anyway.
They're doing this to me tomorrow.
My favorite threat was like someone said he's going to he's going to, you know, mill me into spaghetti. That was pretty funny. That was like a few years ago.
I'm going to send you back to Brazil. That's what I'm doing. I'm sending you
being
back
butchered
to
in a favela market. Yeah.
You remember for like 5 minutes in the early days of COVID when Nick Land took a break from Twitter, and everyone was like, Nick Land chopped up into like Chinese wok and the Wuhan wet markets.
In a Wuhan wet market.
I was like, that was so good.
Look at Hayes, Gio's becoming white boiled.
Congratulations, Gio.
I didn't mean that Ulrich hated women, okay? I'm sorry. It's just that, like, I don't know. I just, like, I saw that Home thing, and I just think it's a very easy, like, if you want to build a huge audience, doing the gender war thing is a very easy get. And not to say, no, I'm not accusing Ulrich of this. I'm not saying it. I'm just saying, like, he does make a lot of cogent points.
He's going to eat you alive in the other chat, Gio.
No, he makes
it over.
He makes a lot of cogent points in the first essays of Schizoposting. I just think that, like, all these guys go a bit too far. I think, like, there's a lot of accounts that they'll make it their main, like, the gender war stuff is, like, their main thing. And if you make that, like, the capstone of the pyramid of, like, why the West has fallen. I'm not accusing Ulrich of saying this, by the way. I'm not accusing him of this. But I'm saying, like, these, like, slop posters, that's all they do. They're like one step above Andrew Tate. It's like, I don't know, man. Like there's also like on the other side, there's like other accounts that like there's rad femmes that do this, right? But it's like, it's man, it just never ends. Like, why can't we heal, man? Like, I know I sound like some kind of hippie, like Eastland Institute attendee, but it's true, man. Like, why can't we, we need each other, men and women. Why can't we just, why can't we all get along?
I'm just reminded of 1992 all of a sudden. You're just like Rodney King. But instead of being beaten by the cops, you've just been like heartbroken by too many e-girls. You're like, can't we all get along?
Oh.
Oh my.
And here's the thing. I got nothing against home math. I'm not calling him out. Well, I kind of am calling him out. What am I being honest? But like, no, I just saw that thread, and like Sean Wyland saying, like even home math is struggling to pivot to something other than dunking on women, still keeping his lines. I know, man. Like it is hard, man. Like I sympathize with him because like it is hard to like talk about stuff that isn't like political hot takes all day. I mean, I know even on this show we still do our fair bit of political hot taking, but I mean, hopefully, half our show is like a millennial nostalgia, but like. It's hard, man. I know that sentiment. It's very hard to talk about something else. It's very hard, and you're gonna have to. And I said this with.
I have to carry that weight, kid.
Exactly. I said this with Kryptos in my interview the other day. I'm like, you're gonna have to take a hit. There's a lot of people that just want their garbage. There's a lot of people that want their political hot takes, and there's people online that do it very well, and that's all they do. Is like political horse trading, and they consent to the game as it is played. But do you want to
do that for the rest of your life? Is the other question.
Exactly.
I do not want to do this when I'm 40, and if I'm doing this when I am 40, it is because I have like a Matt Walsh style contract. That is the only way I can foresee myself doing this at 40 for another 15 years, or another 10 years. Like I can't. Because that would be 15 years of me doing this. And I'm like, well, boy, I hope it's got me a job. So far, it has not. It's probably hurt my job chances more than it's benefited.
Oh, my God.
But anyways. We keep making this garbage anyway.
I'm going to drink that garbage anyway.
I'm going to keep posting that shit anyway. As a result, every single conversation becomes an iteration of the same grand conversation, a singular instance of the discourse ARG, a skirmish determining tribal claims to a piece of noetic territory. Ooh, that's a good turn of phrase, noetic territory. These conversations necessarily take place in a virtual environment, a cybernetic pocket universe in which analysis of children's television translates into political power, i.e. force wielded against members of the opposing team. And this is why all left-wing American talking points just becomes like Sonic would run over a fascist. I literally saw that today. What makes the ARG enticing is that it actually does work in this manner. Niche debates determine the acceptable range of public discourse and behavior, punish the winning side's enemies via firing, social estrangement, violence, and inform the creation of a future media. When culture and politics are downstream of social media, the internet is real life, and the ARG gameplay, no matter how absurd, is effective praxis. Thus, the vitriol normally reserved for blood and soil conflicts, or at the least extreme political disputes, dominates the conversation about things nominally mundane as video game character design. Ethics in video game journalism.
Somebody said that Trump finally tweeted Gamergate too.
That was me.
Yeah, that was you. Yeah,
that was me. I remember it was like 2017. Sargon had said, "Wouldn't it be so cool if Donald Trump just tweeted Gamergate?" And it's just like, I don't know, man. I think you finally got it with all the Halo posting, but whether complex mechanics behind this are understood by players, per Asperm, once again, immaterial to practical interaction with them. In fact, reflexive and non-introspective engagement with discourse ARG is encouraged by the algorithms of the most social networks. It is as it is this libidinal interaction, there you go, Gio, that produces the most spent in-game and thus the most user data in this field.
I didn't read it.
Rage is the most profitable emotion. I will not. We won't finish this, but I think this is a good enough taste for the audience to go read and to buy his book. Links down below in the description. I will say this though. About this
Reported
point.
for concealed ads. You know, there's a guy on Twitter that does that with like people shilling like tallow or masa chips, where he's like reported for undisclosed advertisement. I think it was Roger.
I list my whenever I shill something, I do let people know shit's sponsored.
Do we have to? But for YouTube, do we have to like mark the thing that this
You
includes
can
a paid
mark that
advertisement?
if you so want. But
Yeah.
like for instance,
Just keep it copacetic.
you know, like we have a great you know, we've got our friend we have our friends on Twitter like Lawrence, you know, like Flying Monk Leather. Who
Our
does
friends at
some,
Masa Chips.
I don't have friends at Masa Chips.
No, I'm kidding. I'm
buddy.
joking.
If I ever sold out, you would know because I wouldn't be driving the same fucking 15-year-old Honda Civic that I've been driving for the last several years. So, but no, if I had sold out, I'd have a much better car, and I wouldn't be asking for your super chats as much. But no, if you wanted to see what good, what our friend Lawrence does, this is his work. I'll share this tab instead.
Lawrence of Appalachia.
Yeah, that guy. This is his stuff. He's a leather worker, so go check out his stuff. There you go. Go talk to Lawrence on Twitter. Great guy. Great stuff.
Oh, I have a suggestion for him.
Yeah.
What he could make one of those like urban sketching like plein air cases where you could have like your watercolor palette and your pens and everything that like opens up on your chest. You could like have a strap where like you could like still like be walking or whatever and sketching. He could do that. I've seen this. Like I've seen people, you know, they got like these custom made like leather plein air kits for like watercolor urban sketching. You could probably do something like that.
Well, go hit him up. I'm sure that you two could come to an arrangement there.
I definitely would shill it. I would like if he sent me a free sample, I would definitely shill it.
No, Sean Weiland, I am not a member of the $7,000 club either. I have some scruples.
What is the $7,000 club?
I'll let you go look that one up, buddy.
Oh my god. Honda Civic in this economy?
That's true. It's some hot stuff right there.
Buy my book, collect my pages, find my secret, join my tournament. Join Hustlers University.
All the pages.
Yeah, Foyd Poster. We're gonna call it Foyd.
Collect all my pages.
Foyd Posters University. Foyd Posters University. I'm gonna call it that.
Oh, how many? Hold on. Damn it. How many? Is it that? Yeah. Go get the. Go. Oh no, it's not. Yeah. Go collect my 8 pages. Find my secret. Find Slender Man.
There's going to be a QR code in the last page.
There's a QR code on the top left corner that takes you to subscribestar.com/the Prudentialist. So there you go. As proper Foyd slop, this is the next step. So true. I just need to get Sydney Sweeney to endorse the Digital Archipelago, and I will have achieved the apotheosis of Foyd posting.
I'd sell for Navi Campbell.
It's over, yeah. It's over. All right. So with that, his links are down below in the description. I thought it was a good essay. I'm sure Alaric and I will talk more on this, and he'll chew us out in chat. But until then, we will carry on with we'll answer your questions here in the super chats. We're near the 3-hour mark, and as per usual, we'll be live later. I am so glad it has been raining in my neck of the woods because I have managed to get over 40 minutes of fishing footage. So some of my favorite spots have been filled back up, and I literally took a screenshot of the video while I was recording of it. So I have proof that there are fish in the usual fishing spot that I go to, and they're on camera. So fuckers. But so I'll have probably a fishing video out sometime probably on Friday, and then more to come in the future because I have like a boatload of like half-written essays that I'm like, I can just shoot these out as like impromptu one-off speeches. So I'm gonna go make that happen. Do Gio Scotty to do a cameo. Gio, are you ready? I feel like that'd be terrible. Who is on Cameo these days that we could probably get to like?
Wasn't like what's his name? The guy who was in Terminator 2 Furlough.
Maybe.
I think he's on it. I think you can get You can get Chris Chan. I remember at one point.
You can get
Chris
Nigel
Chan.
Farage. Oh fuck it, we'll just do Nigel Farage. Why not?
Nigel Farage.
Just get Nigel Farage to do it. Why
Carry
not?
on, gents. I'm watching the digital archipelago, and that'd be.
I feel like that'd be a great victory for the right. Be
Yeah.
generally nice.
You can get Kurt Angle to do an ad for the OGC. Well, Kurt Angle votes Republican, but I don't know if he'd be down with the OGC.
Although it's particularly funny because
Kurt Angle be like, hopped up. He'd be like,
no.
OGC,
I was thinking about what you had said just earlier.
Gio Scott.
No. Oh fuck.
Nigel Farage.
Yeah, right before that. I don't remember now.
Chris Chan.
Yeah, that was it. So apparently he's back. I mean, he's back in the real world. But Chris Chan has an Etsy website.
Oh, not again.
Yeah, so Chris Chan has an
before.
Etsy, and his cursed medallions he makes.
Yeah.
I bought one.
What? Why would you do this?
For my friend's graduation gift from law school.
Okay, at least if you're not buying it for yourself.
No. I am passing the Chris Chan curse to my my future lawyer friend.
Yeah, there was a Chris Chan reference in Smiling Friends. The famous one where Bob Chandler comes through and they're gonna take our house away. If you get I want it off the internet. Like that's like such an iconic Chris Chan moment. That's like
okay.
Such an
I'm gonna share this one. Speaking of Smiling Friends, we'll go share this. I like this one because there you go. There's silly Sam. I demand to be taken seriously. This is so good. This is so good. I had to retweet it. It was great. It was wonderful.
Oh my god,
it was real good. I demand to be taken seriously.
How much did you pay for that?
How much did I pay for that? Oh, I'm not telling you.
Oh, because it's a gift. Okay, I understand. But like, it's just I don't know, man. Like I wouldn't want to screw with that mana. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Too late.
Too late.
Dude.
Anyways.
We are so fucked. I would love to write an essay about it because I really do think that it is the Adult Swim show for the Trump era, or at least the second Trump administration. Because
what can I say? I love God, I love my country, and
yeah. No, because like early 2000s Adult Swim was perfect for the Bush Obama era of this like edgy millennial nostalgia and nihilism of
Wonder shows and
whether it was all the sort of sight gags from Robot Chicken or the absolute slander of like white Christian America with Moral Oral. And then it's that era kind of passes on into the Trump administration that now kind of has an edgier nihilistic, like the left still has its cultural power with the woke. And so Rick and Morty and shows like that really take prominence. BoJack Horseman, while not Adult Swim, I think fits into this category. But as sort of this quote unquote vibe shift takes place, you have two edgy Newgrounds animators into which Zach Hadel has some interesting tweets from the early 2017 era about the great replacement that you can find. I think that them and the guys who make Space King are really like the animation for our time. And I like that the cultural page is sort of turned onto that. It's something I appreciate. Are they a representative of the zeitgeist writ large? No, but they're the only people making interesting animated media content for a 30-year-old man like me. No, and I don't give a shit what you call me. That stuff is entertaining. You're not canon. And it's just like, I'm fine with that. This is good. I like it.
That's like Wonder Shows and was like the perfect like Bush era millennial, like older millennial show. Like it had like an edgy, biting, ironic humor that like, you could say like maybe skewed towards like the left, but like it was like very creative and interesting for its time. It had like not like a Jon Stewart cynicism, but like it had a very deep like cosmic pessimism to it that was actually funny. Because like the guys that made Wonder Shows and were the same people that made Xavier Renegade Angel. And like those are like literally like two perfect shows that I believe were they produced by Adult Swim. Yeah,
I think so.
Like they were like literally the perfect show. Then you had like Super Jail and you had like other.
I really
ones.
like Super Jail.
Yeah, Harvey Birdman was another great one. It's just like for those who don't know, like Wonder Showzen was a lesser known Adult Swim show that was sort of like you could almost see like that Sam Hyde and MD were influenced by it. Like you could almost like you know what I mean? Like you could see it.
Yeah.
Like because I believe Sam Hyde was talking about its influences in his aesthetic. And like my personal opinion is that I think Nobody TM's aesthetic also influenced the MD thing. But you had like I think he cited like Liquid Television and like because all these shows that were like adult cartoons that had this like biting cynical social commentary like Moral Oral, certain skits in Liquid Television, Xavier Renegade Angel. I would like
I
in
feel like
Canada we had like John Callahan's Quads.
we should probably do like a TV show where like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or we just kind of like review them. But let's go on to the super chat. So you can send a super chat via YouTube or the entropy link, which is the pinned comment in the YouTube chat or in the description of this video. It takes less of a cut, and that would be greatly appreciated. We will answer your questions, but we will start off with the entropy one. I don't know, YouTube first, entropy last. And we will carry the C Lab theme is absolutely Kino. That is true. I do remember Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I do.
Oh, yeah.
It's a really good one. All right, so the top of the month, or the top of the super chats, comes from our friend Yassine In, who is graciously sent. It's over $100 American, but it is 75 pounds. And he says it's a $100 request, right? He says this should cover it. Certainly does. So Yassine, your request will be answered. Can we get a deep dive into Ace Combat 4 or 0, whichever you prefer? Both games have strong narratives ripe for discussion, and would like to hear your thoughts. Also, Belka did nothing wrong. Yassine, that will be accomplished. I will write, or I will just record after probably replaying one of those Ace Combat games. I might just have Ace Combat 7 on as like background footage while I rant into the microphone as per usual. But yeah, no, I will happily do that because I love the Ace Combat games, and I've always there's the brand of autism where it's like trains, planes, or automobiles. I was the plane kid to a point where I won some sort of like superlative in 5th grade, and my 5th grade teacher had delightfully referenced this autism of mine. So no, Yassine, consider it done. I will hope to have it out by the end of the by the end of the year.
For $100.
Absolutely. For your service.
How can I make that British?
It's done.
75-pound dollary dues. No, wait, that's Australian.
75 pounds still.
75 pound.
Luthemplar says happy All Saints. Yes, All Saints Day is what, for Halloween, right?
What are you doing for Halloween, Prude?
I am going. I have plans that I can't say without doxing myself, so I can't say anything.
Well, what is it, like a party?
I'm going somewhere, yes, so I can't.
I always spend Halloween with my GF.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
So you'll be in the States?
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, you're going somewhere though, like
yeah. I'm like, well, I was like, I have plans, and I just realized I can't.
With the fiance?
No, well, I mean, she's coming with me, but it's just it's a social gathering of sorts.
Oh, okay, I see. You don't want to dox yourself.
Yeah. Luthemplar says, who would have thought the first IRL Purge film would have been from EBT going broke? You know, it's kind of wild that it took a government shutdown for this to take place, because a friend of mine who is a fan and plays our show in his operations room area, and I'm sure he'll get a kick out of this. Howdy, buddy. I know you're out there, Coach. I hope you're enjoying the show. But he had said, he and I have had this kind of game plan conversation. It's like, if any actual cyber attack on American infrastructure would do substantial damage, it would be like fucking up Chase Bank and America's EBT systems to prevent SNAP and welfare benefits from going out. Like, that would cause massive race riots in every major metropolitan area in the United States.
Well, that happened during the Rodney King riots. Remember when was it Dianne Feinstein? Who was the African American woman?
You're referring to Barbara Boxer at the time?
Was it Barbara Boxer that had to? She was like standing up. There was like a crowd about to like tear them.
No, she was white. I don't remember which black senator in the 90s. Does not narrow it down.
It may have been either her or Feinstein that like there's in the Rodney King in the LA Riot documentary, she was like standing up on the podium like talking about this, about like, you know, the welfare check's gonna come out or the
Oh,
EBT
there
or
was
whatever.
Senator Brown from Illinois at the time. I'd have to
Yeah.
go find it and look it up. But yeah, it is particularly interesting. Uh, Let's see here. Not Grim sends for $4.99 says just finished the Spangler video. I presume Spangler's Hour of Decision from Do You Even Read to the Times and I host. You know, every episode of Do You Even Read alternates between books we really want to read and then really terrible libtarded stuff that no one should read, but you probably should. So I'm giving you a taste of what's to come next episode. Just finished the Spangler video. If only the option is to become the judge or, God forbid, Dutch Van Lind to end up cliff diving, then it's over. If this is a reference to what's currently going on in German elections, then I'm not too sure. But
what's happening with German elections?
I don't know. That's why I am opining that I don't know enough to give this $4.99 super chat my proper comment. So
yeah.
But it is certainly depressing that things are the way that they are, and that the most popular party is basically being deemed illegal.
Yeah.
Seasider says, looking for more found footage, look up the McPherson tapes.
I heard about that. That was made in the 80s. They have it on Tubi. I tried watching a little bit of it, but so tomorrow I'm going to release the episode and with Parker Longbow.
The
and
McPherson tape, 1989.
It's pretty good, actually. It's
UFO
about the
abduction.
It was actually right before, it was a few years before the Arizona Lights. That's why it became, and there was actually a found footage film, but it was like more of a murder mystery, where it was a year or two before the Ed Sanchez release of the Blair Witch Project. It was called The Last Broadcast. You know, me and you, we should review this film because there's a very interesting subtext in terms of like internet culture, because this film, believe it or not, discovered IRL streaming and text to speech. I'm not joking.
You can watch the whole thing on YouTube.
A film from 1997 or 98 discovered text to speech IP2 IRL streaming. Imagine Baked Alaska or Ice Poseidon in the middle of the Pine Barrens trying to hunt for the Jersey Devil. This is this film.
Good times were had by all.
No, but it's great. Yeah, like the first tape's really good. I should go and watch it. And I've watched like most of this free found footage film stuff, and like some of them are like pretty crappy, but there's a lot of them that me and Parker talk about that are pretty high quality. So like the horror in the what's it called? Horror in the High Desert trilogy is really good. And I believe you can watch all of them on YouTube. Of course, everyone knows about like Hell House, and my personal favorite is Savage Land. Savage Land is such a great film. Even though, like, if you kind of like ignore like the Trump era social commentary context, but like the concept itself, even like that type of like social commentary is pretty, like, it's kind of like caricatured and played out, but it's still like integral to the thing.
Yeah.
But it's pretty good.
Carrying on. Not Grim says Hereditary was okay. It's good horror, if nothing else. I hate A24 in general because it feels like if Freud was a horror filmmaker for Europe.
Yeah, it's true.
I agree with that take wholeheartedly. A month back, Not Grim continues for $4.99. A month back, we had a sitting New York councilor proudly admit that almost 90% of the New York food stands are ran by illegals. The city is done.
Oh my God, is that true?
I'm inclined to believe it, but I would like to look up the data myself.
Man.
Let's see here. Still shocked how rapidly the demographics of Manhattan changed from the Biden wave. Yeah. This is why you're not going to get the like, we'll just have like a Giuliani style comeback. No, you won't.
You're not going to get Giuliani.
No,
but people are debating about Mondani's auntie. And they're like, well, no, he didn't actually mean his biological aunt. He meant like in the Muslim conscience. It's like, who fucking cares?
It's just it's African American English vernacular. Like, we get it. This is a reference to this is a Red Dead Redemption reference. Okay.
Oh, there you go.
I'm retarded.
They cook bears in Red Dead Redemption.
There you go.
That's all I know about it.
For the record, Gio, says Randall Shirker, he says the GGR revolt thing was based on various video companies and FFs being involved in various research groups intending to influence society for NGOs, military, and others.
Yes, it's true. That was so you remember that thread. So I'm not a schizo. I remember this thread. Yes, that was about video game companies. As we all know, video game companies have had.
And it's a very popular parapolitical point you'll see from a lot of left-wing YouTubers is like an Infinity Ward's relationship with the U.S. military.
Yeah,
but I mean, DARPA has been doing games conferences since like 1993, and you can look up various like actual papers about video games and influencing the industry for military development purposes. Like there's a reason why we've kind of got a standard understanding for how a heads-up display would look like. That's a lot of influence there. Wingman 45, he's member for 1 month, the most O-coded enlisted vid I have ever seen. I have no idea what this is in reference to.
O-coded? What's that mean?
I don't know. I don't know.
We've unlocked a secret activation code.
Apparently so. Then, although he sent a couple, I'll answer those in a minute. Those are on entropy from him. Gondola for 50. Chrysos are still incels, you know. Storms out. Fair Gondola. That's fair.
A good one.
That's a good one.
Officer coded enlisted kid.
Okay, there you go.
Military brat.
Yes, the most O-coded enlisted kid I've ever seen. Oh, well, can't help you there. I'm just an asshole. Not Grim. He says, "Hi, I'm going to prove this by sending a super berry. Hi." Well, hello, I guess.
Hello, Not Grim.
Dance, puppets. Dance. That's why we're here. That's why I take your money.
You know, you figure for a finance guy, Sean Weiland would donate a lot more. I'm being an asshole.
Finance guy Sean would set up a charitable trust that we can launder money through via the Digital Archipelago Charitable Giving Fund. There you go. Thoughts on Dolly Dimpley and the cool autistic gamer? I have
what
no
the hell
thoughts.
Is that? What the hell is that? Who is Doll? You people are just. You might as well just be saying, you know, little Grok rizzed up Liv Dunny. Like, what the hell is Dolly Dimpley? This?
You know what? I will curse myself. I'm just gonna go look it up.
Dude, Dolly Dimpley. Is this like that?
It's from Smiling Friends. That's why.
I didn't watch I only watched the first season.
Oh, well, that's Dimpley. Also on you. But also, it's an OC character from Critter Clips. I mean, it's also. I don't have an opinion. I don't.
Is Smiling Friends on Daily Motion? I saw this brain rot video with Dolly Dimpley where they like took.
That edits Smiling Friends see with their OC in them. Either way, it's an in joke. I see. Okay.
I think it's cool. I think
let people do it. I don't give a shit.
Let people do it because I feel like it's sort of like a weird like mimetic ghost haunting the machine of intellectual property, and so I don't know. It's got something to it, I guess. Yeah.
If people want to have fun, let them. I don't really have too much of an opinion on there. Brad just sends for $4.99. Thank you, Brad. Greatly appreciate it. You've done. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Brad.
Not Grim says. Also, do you guys like old 2000s as bumps?
Adult Swim bumps.
Oh yes, I do. Yes.
Well, I'm Canadian, so I didn't have Adult Swim, but I remember the Teletoon bumps were pretty cool.
I'm from this era, so yes, I'm a big fan. Not Grim again. You've been very generous tonight, Not Grim. Thank you. Dimes mentions Red Dead Redemption 2 is basically Blood Meridian Light. The gang leader would be Dutch van der Linde, who cliffs to his demise in the first game. I have not played Red Dead Redemption 2, although I get the feeling that I feel like there's a ludonarrative dissonance between what the world could be and also what Blood Meridian is, and then what I can and can't do, and the sort of slight progressive moralism that's in the second game from what I've seen. Am I ever going to play it? Maybe, maybe not. I love Red Dead Redemption, the first game. It's fun, and even the stupid Undead Nightmare DLC is hilarious and it's also really good. But I like the first game, but I haven't played the second one, which I know is a prequel. So on to the Entropy super chats. I'll start from oldest to we'll start from the oldest ones to the newest. So Buzz Killius for $5 says, my favorite horror movie is listening to Gio with his millennial newspeak. Oof.
Oh wow. Oh god.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm declaring chat room martial law.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Our friend Seawoke Dev, he sends a very generous $25.
$25
and just sends 8 frog emojis. Thank you, sir.
Nice.
It's greatly appreciated. Charlie Mackey also sends $25. Oh my goodness.
$25.
He says, "Good evening. I hope you are both well. Since you mentioned Isaac Young, do either of you have a favorite work of fiction that has been written recently? Of course, in deference to your other series, I don't read."
Recently,
it's a tagline that Dimes and I have. We're the only pro e-literacy podcast on the internet. But recently, in terms of fiction,
my first book by Honor Levy.
You
That's
horny
mine.
bastard. I would really I'll start with our guy fiction, and then I'll tell you what the last piece of fiction I read recently. So our guy fiction, you can always go read or go listen to what Isaac Young's been doing on his YouTube channel, and he's got his own books. For our guy books, I would really recommend Crimson Veil by John Slaughter. I just finished reading it. It's incredibly good. I mean, like, John's written short stories and he's been a writer and an essayist for a while now, but for like his first outing for fiction, it's really solid. So if you can go buy Crimson Veil, go do that. If you want a short story collection, T.R. Hudson's The Search for More Money is a series of really funny and some really introspective essays and short stories he's written. There's one called I Trial, which is really good. I think it has the makings of a old Rod Serling Twilight Zone episode. So I would recommend that. As for the last piece of fiction I read, goodness, what has that been that wasn't related to YouTube content?
Fedbook.
For Fedbook, no. I bought Fedbook. I've not read it. No. The last piece of fiction I read, and originally it was meant to be for something in program, but we didn't end up not doing it. I recently read William Faulkner's The Light in August.
Oh wow, that's good.
I hadn't read it before, so I was really excited to read something from Faulkner I hadn't finished. So there you go. There's my answer to you.
I recently read Portnoy's Complaint.
Did his complaint get answered?
No, of course not.
No way.
By Philip Roth. No, Portnoy's Complaint's a great book, but it's like it's intense. It's intense. Yeah. Portnoy's Complaint.
I have not read that, so I don't have much to say on that point. But
Anyways.
Yikes. I will put this up on screen later because that's so fucking good. Oz the Art Pilgrim has just won. Random music recommendation from Not Grim. Grizzly Bear Yellow House. Grizzly Bear had this album featured in quite a few 2000 Adult Swim bumps back then. I will definitely go give that a listen when I get off the air. So thank you, Not Grim. I appreciate it. Continuing on with the entropy ones. Sex Freakman for $3. Here with my Mr. Hassler's book recommendation. I ran for president and lost the election. So oh gosh, I'm not finishing that sentence, but from a J.R. Chitlins, which I imagine this has got to be some kind of Quan Mills-esque book. So there you go.
J.R. Okay, how do you spell this?
Sex Freakman continues. My bad, sisters. It was actually A Theory of Mind is Pure Act, presumably by Giovanni Gentile. I have that. I think I have that. I have not read it though.
Yeah.
I've not read it. And that is by Gentile, but I don't have it yet. I have not read it. But I guess I had some.
What the fuck is this? I ran for president, lost the election.
Do not finish reading that sentence out loud. I'll let you go look into that on your own time.
What the fuck is this?
That's Sex Freakman fucking with us.
Stripper named Rushanada T. Mims.
There you go. Wingman 45 says, not happy that the K-pop Demon Hunters episode is still members only. Mom wants to watch it. Oh no, there's like a 2.5 minute joking humorous tirade about circumcision in there that I do not want anyone's mother to listen to. Well, I guess Mr. Wingman, I will go edit that out and go put that on main. So there you go. I'll leave it there. Oswald Art says, "Hello, gents. I hope you were doing well. I had a great weekend, and I met some of my old college friends. Gio, do more art streams. Also, Prude, keep in mind that you spoke this thing into being. Check Twitter. So I had mentioned like 2 episodes ago that I would love a Howling Mutant gimmick account, but it's called Howling Labubu. And it has been spoken into being. Also, I need to make sure. Oh, I need to go.
We need
hide
a
my
Howling
fucking...
Bojard. We need a Howling Foucault account.
No, we have Howling Labubu now.
Oh God,
this is so fucking good.
You better get the Howling Mutant retweet from this.
The
Add him.
I'm not doing this right now. Hold on. Anyways, there's your Howling Labubu. I will leave that alone. That's so fucking good. That's great. Thank you. That's
amazing.
I have no words. This is fantastic. Hyperstition in real time. Yeah, this is true. So yeah, I'm a big fan. This is
man,
really...
we're beating Dave. We're beating Dave right now. That's pretty cool.
Oh, not for now, but we'll get off the air. For now, you can go watch Dave as soon as we get off the air. So there you go. We spoke that into being. I'm very proud of myself there. Let's see here. Wingman 45 also says Michael Doris is the Sonichu of Tradcath YouTube. I don't know who that is.
Oh, God.
And then Wingman 45 says Mom teaches Koreans. She's used to it. Well, I guess I'll go put that up on. I guess I can put a different one on there. And then Not Grim, last but not least, says you may recognize the first song off that album, Easier, being used in the Last Chance Saloon bump. Oh, then I'll probably recognize. I'll recognize it for sure. But yeah, so I will probably put out the K-pop Demon Hunters review that Wingman 45 paid for up on Main on Friday, and then, or maybe this Thursday, we'll see. And then after that, it'll just be finishing. I need to finish this essay for Frontier magazine because I'm supposed to finish this essay about late night TV. So as soon as that's done, that'll hopefully get published and I'll get paid. And then I'll have an article out on the OGC, and then I will finally get to publish my essays on being programmed to post. I have them edited, so
nice.
we'll get started shortly. And yeah, and then I've got a few more Real Talk videos to put out. I've missed fishing. It's been a hot minute. So I'm glad I had the chance to do so this last weekend. But what do you got going on, Gio?
So first I recorded with Kruptos, but I think it's behind the paywall. 2-week early access if you subscribe to him on Substack. So we talk about a bunch of things. We talk about my article, Lifeless Dead. Then I talk about the Doom Scrolling podcast by Joshua Citarella on the Sidebar podcast, the Slop King version. Go to the Tukey's Mag YouTube channel. And hopefully tomorrow I have a episode out on called The Essence of Found Footage Films with the writer who's also a great pulp writer, Parker Longbow. So that's what I got going on. It's a special Halloween edition. Talk about a lot of different found footage films from the Wreck series, Horror in the High Desert, Savage Land, the origins of it, and so on and so forth. It's great. And we also talk about like his the pulp world as well, and his essay he wrote on Substack called the Hotel Detective, which is very good. So that's what I got going on. And hope all you guys have a great Halloween. And it's already Halloween. That's crazy. Like 2025 just kind of went by.
Yeah, it's kind of wild how quickly this year has gone by. It's insane. Man,
what happened at the beginning of the year?
Trump was inaugurated.
Oh, I know that, but like, oh yeah, then you had like the assassination. When did Butler happen?
Butler was last year.
Oh my god.
Good Lord.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Ooh, look at that.
Anyways.
All right. Well, we will see you all next week on Gio's channel, and then we're probably going to ring in the November time frame because I finally downloaded it, and I'm going to go send them off to Gio this weekend so we can go do our 2-parter review for Steins Gate because we were paid to. And then from there, we'll see what comes next.
I believe DA is on her birthdays in December.
I thought our birthday was on
Tuesday.
Oh yeah, look at that. Our One of us can have the birthday stream in the morning, and then one of us can have the DA stream in the afternoon. It'll
There you
work
go.
out. I might as well take that day off.
Yeah.
That works out perfectly. All right, gents. Well, we will see you all next week.
God bless. Goodbye. Too sweet. Happy Halloween, fellas.
See you, gents.
All Saints Day. Yeah, there you go.